in the time that I was in jail, they had come out with a new product called 70H. I don't know if you've ever heard that.
I've heard of it, but I'm
It's
not
the same
super
thing
familiar
as
with
kratom. It's so they derived the kratom powder. They basically did what from heroin to fentanyl, but they did it with kratom to 70H. So kratom is like the lower natural form. They synthesized it in a lab, made it 10 times stronger, and basically if you put it next to morphine, it's pretty on a level. If you use enough of it, it's right there, man. It is a pain pill that
Really?
was sold legally, dude. And if you smoke weed on top of that, you're to the moon. I'm not exaggerating. So I start on the kratom powder tower once a month. That month turns into 4 years. That once a month turns into 4 straight years.
All right, we're back with another episode of Get a Grip podcast. We have Jake Knappy. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Yeah, you did,
From
man.
Florence,
Knappy.
Kentucky.
Yes, sir.
And you just drove down today?
Yeah, drove up. Yeah,
How was
we
the
did
drive?
today. It was good. Yeah, it was only 2 hours. I got 3 kids in the car, so
Smooth sailing?
Yeah, smooth sailing, no issues. So,
Right on.
Yeah,
Well, thanks for coming.
absolutely.
We'll kick this thing off with your childhood, man.
Yeah. Okay.
Tell us how you were raised and what that looked like for you as a kid.
Yeah, absolutely. I will start off by saying, like I said earlier, my story isn't as severe as most. I never ended up homeless, but I think it's really relatable to suburban kids. I come from a good background. My parents, grew up no alcohol, drugs in the house, at least until I was 18. I was always told growing up my dad would die if he drank again. I didn't know why, I was just told. Yeah, come to find out later, he was a recovering alcoholic, and his liver, he was told that his liver was going to give out. He had almost cirrhosis, so that's what that was.
It's in the family.
Yeah, it's in the family. I didn't realize, didn't know. Nobody ever told me. So everything was cool, and I also like to, I played sports, just the normal suburban life,
Sure.
you know what I mean, middle class,
Yep.
normal life. I was born in 1996, so the normal middle 2000s family. I would like to say my addiction seed was planted when I was in first grade. I was extremely hard to handle, energetic. I couldn't sit still. The typical ADHD. It's 2001, I think, so ADHD's new. It's on the rise,
Yep.
you know what I'm saying? So doctors are spitting it. Parents are told, put them on medication.
Yep.
So, of course, they're going to follow the doctor's orders,
Yep.
you know what I mean?
Adderall?
What is it?
Did you get put on Adderall?
No, yeah, I got put on Adderall. Yeah, I got put on.
young?
Yeah, and I turned into a zombie. Apparently, I don't remember this part. I turned into a zombie. And they said something's not right. Like I said, I was energetic. I was crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to handle. And they took me back and put me on Concerta. I don't remember the milligrams, but I do remember at the very end I was taking, I believe, upwards to 100 to 125 milligrams a day. It's the lowest type of Adderall.
I'm familiar.
It gets some people high. It doesn't.
We tried to abuse them, and they're very difficult to abuse.
Okay, so some people have crazy good reactions. Some people don't. You know what I'm saying? So I obviously had ADHD, so it never did anything to me.
Right.
So it did calm me down. But there is something that I will throw in there that is important to my story later on. It made me not eat. Obviously it's an upper. We didn't know
Kills
this.
your
You know what I'm saying?
appetite.
Kills your appetite. So when I would come home, I would just devour food, and I gained a lot of weight. This happened later, around 10 years old. So it was probably 4 years after I was taking it, but still, I gained weight, and that's more important to the story later on in life. Anyway, so that was planned. I would say that was planned. So I got put on Concerta. Nothing really happened. Everything was normal up until I would say about 15. This does not have anything to do with drug addiction, but I do think this is where I crossed a line into the criminal, mindset. I allegedly got a part-time job for my first freshman in high school, and I was told by some upperclassmen that worked there. We worked there together. It was a toy store. It was seasonal work. I was told that it was easy to steal money out of the cash register. They had allegedly done it already. So I allegedly
shot.
followed suit.
Yeah.
So I didn't buy drugs or alcohol yet, but I felt comfortable with the thought of taking something that was
Stealing.
not mine. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? So that was when I was 15, and not long afterwards, I graduate freshman year. Don't touch any drugs or alcohol. Actually, honestly, I didn't even know what weed was until freshman year. I knew what alcohol was, you know, that's everywhere, you know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
knew that was for adults, yada, yada, yada. But up until freshman year, I really didn't know what drugs were or what weed was until I got into high school. So I was, like I said, a good kid. I grew up around
Yeah.
good people, you know, good influences. Parents are still together today. Grew up just in a good place. And freshman year, summer, going into sophomore year is where I'd say the next line was crossed. I drank alcohol for the first time, experienced my first drunk. The story of that goes, my cousin just graduated high school. He was throwing a graduation party, and like I said, there was no drugs or alcohol in the house. And that was like around the whole entire family, like extended family and everything. So this was something that didn't happen a lot. So there was alcohol in a mini fridge outside, and I was there with a friend of mine and two girls. One of the girls' moms is at this party. I was convinced to go steal beer from the mini fridge. And I did because I had a drawstring bag. I don't know about you guys back then, but it was like 2012. We always wore a drawstring bag back then when we were in high school.
Yep.
In high school.
A lot of kids
Yeah,
did.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I stuffed, I think, 3 or 4 beers in there. And so we sneak off from the party. We start drinking beer. It's Miller Lite, I think. I still hate Miller Lite. I drank half of this thing, and I'm pretty sure I ditched it. And I'm pretty sure my friend ditched his, and I don't know about the girls. Anyway, girls lived right down the street, and her mom and dad were at this party, so they had the house was empty. So we were like, we have a liquor cabinet, so let's go try to drink some liquor. I found my first love of substances was liquor. I was never a beer guy. I was always liquor because my goal wasn't to drink. It was to get me drunk. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's always been all or nothing with me. So we get there. I have my first drunk, and I'm obviously a mess. You know what I'm saying? Can't walk, can't talk. You know what I'm saying? But the rest of that summer, I'm chasing that drunk. You know what I mean? So I'm drinking constantly. It's not every day or anything like that, but it's whenever I can get my hands on it. I'm 15 at this time, turning 16 in September. So sophomore year starts, and this is when marijuana gets introduced. I had all types of friends, you know, sober friends that smoked weed, friends that drank, friends that did both. You know, I just hadn't smoked weed yet. I don't know why I hadn't, but I just hadn't. But anyway, it came up, the opportunity came up. Smoke for the first time, you know, you don't get high. So then the second time, I do get high. So I find, you know, my second thing that I fall in love with, that becomes alcohol and marijuana, which are usually the easier things to get when you live a suburban life.
Are you combining these things?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Everything you'll hear in my story, all the hard drugs that I take, alcohol is always in the background. Always.
Oh, yeah.
I was always more of an alcoholic because it was more of easy access.
Right.
Because, like I said, I'm a suburban kid. I had to go down to the city to get hard drugs, or I had to wait for somebody I knew that lived up here that got hard drugs.
Sure.
So it was alcohol was always easiest to get. So I was always drunk, but I was always searching for hard drugs. Anyway, so I get introduced to marijuana, and now I start smoking, and I'm drinking on the weekends and smoking. Not before school yet, but after school, on the weekends, all that. This is where I like to think that a big line was crossed in my addiction story. I get introduced to this show called Drugs Inc. If you've ever heard of it. Yeah, it's a how-to guide to get high.
It's on A&E, right?
I think I found it on Netflix, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Yeah, so I got to binge watch this when I was 16 years old, and I think in that time I knew.
They show like the drug dealer.
Oh yeah, they show. It's all reality TV. Yeah. So is it true? Is it not true? I don't know.
But it shows you like all the different walks of life.
Oh yeah, that shows you every bit of it. Shows you every bit of how to use it, how to sell it, how to whatever it is, where to get it. You know, it's wild. I was like, okay. So it got me interested into all these types of drugs. I was like, man, I want to try all these. You know what I'm saying? So I unfortunately accomplished that. So, anyway, So I did find that show sophomore year. Now I hadn't had any hard drugs yet. I hadn't had the opportunity. Wasn't really looking or anything. I'm still 16 at this time, so we're still pretty young, you know. Anyway, I so junior year summer. This is where the hard drugs come in. I'm still drinking and smoking. Nothing really changed. You know what I'm saying? Everything's still normal. The next time anything ramp up is junior year summer, going into junior year, the very end.
Okay.
My friend that I had my first drink with, I grew up with him. He lived a couple houses down. I had my first hard drug with. He knew some shady people that I did not know who were older, went to different schools. Well, he comes up to me one day and says, I have some, it was 2012. The popular drug at the time was Molly. He said, I have some Molly. It was white. Now that I look back, it was, you'll see. It was white, crystally powder. So we take it. I remember we swallow it, and zooted isn't the word. You know, your first high of a hard drug, you know, I'm on the moon.
Yeah.
Well, we proceed to take this unknowing drug for the next 2 to 3 weeks straight. And we're not sleeping at all, you know, not eating at all.
Sounds like
you know,
meth.
it is. It turns out one of the person we sold it to, because we were selling it at the time. I mean, my buddy was selling it at the time. You know, I was just, you know, helping him get licks and shit. A guy comes up all mad saying, "This is meth. I tested it." Yeah. So I mean, he might have tested it, but now I'm looking back. I mean, Molly doesn't make you stay up for 2-3 days. No, it does not. So yeah, I'm pretty sure my first drug was methamphetamine. So, well, I never searched.
Did you like it?
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. But I rolled super hard on that too, because I think I had never touched a hard drug in my life. I think the little bit of MDMA that was in that was enough for me to roll, and I rolled. Yeah. So anyway, so I did love it. So that was nothing distinctive after that happened. I can go into all the drugs that I took, but I mean, I don't think that's really that important. You know, let's just go with this. Like, I did end up taking everything that
Did
you
get
could
into like cocaine?
Oh yeah,
and heroin.
The only two that I didn't take while in high school was unknowingly. I did take methamphetamine the first time, did not, but knowingly I did not take heroin or methamphetamine. I did take pain pills. I took Xanax. I took all the psychedelics that you can think of besides, you know, mescaline and, you know, the super
DMT.
Yeah. Oh no, I did DMT.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I did try it once. My buddy actually that I did all my first with hooked up with this 20-something-year-old that made it inside his house.
Oh wow.
I don't know if it's the greatest DMT in the world, but I mean, it made me blast off. So I've only done it once. It's enough for me. It's pretty intense.
That's what I
but
hear.
Yeah, I did cocaine in high school. I smoked weed. I did inhalants. I did all your basic.
Yeah, it sounds like you covered the bases.
Yeah. I'm not proud of it. I'm not trying to gloat it at all.
Yeah.
But I did, unfortunately. I had each drug I had a little stint with. You know what I'm saying? Like, But anyway, so the next major thing that does happen in my life is my first DUI. I have 5 DUIs.
Shit.
Yeah, there's my claim to fame. Yeah, I have 5 DUIs. I'm in a 5-year license suspension as we talk. I'm in my last year of it, so my wife had to drive me up here. So yes. Anyway, my first DUI. I'm 17. This one kind of fucked me up because it took my popularity in school. I'm at an upperclassman's party. This is my junior year. I am taking all types of drugs. I'm drinking I'm not going to school high at this point. I'm probably smoking weed, but I'm not getting like high on hard drugs and going to school at this point. I'm not getting drunk before school or anything. This is all after school stuff. I've had a job since 15. I worked for all my drugs. I paid for all my, you know what I'm saying? So like, it hadn't taken control of my life yet, but it was any free time, it was drugs and alcohol.
Are you planning everything in your life around the next high?
Yeah, everything. Yeah, I'm planning what I'm going to do, how I'm going to get my drugs first, and then I can go do whatever I got to do. You know, but my drugs and alcohol do come first. Yep. Yes, in my free time. The weed gets me by, like if I have to go to school or if I have to go to work, you know, where I can't get fucked up. You know what I mean? So the weed will get me through that. So, junior year, the end of junior year, springtime of junior year, I get my first DUI. I'm 17. I drank and drove. I did drugs and drove. That was the weird thing about me. I loved to drive when I was intoxicated. The stupidest thing in the world, I know, but I did it. You know what I mean?
Do
So
you think you're good at it?
oh yeah, you know the typical
Yeah.
thing, man.
Yep.
You know, I was king shit.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Oh man, so wrong I was. So I'm at this upperclassman party. You know, I don't even know if I'm wanted there, to be honest with you. I don't know. I'm a mess. You know what I mean? I'm always the most intoxicated person at the party.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But I'm there. I have a lot of friends in school. You know, are they my friends? I don't know. You know what I mean? I have 2 friends now. So, but I'm at this high school party, and I look at this buddy, and I was like, "Hey, you wanna go get some Wendy's? This dumbest shit in the world." He goes, "Sure." It's in the middle of this fucking excuse my language, middle of this party. So we go and get some Wendy's. We're right next to the courthouse. The house is next to the courthouse. I blow through a stop sign, a flashing light. There's a cop behind me. I've never been pulled over. I'm 17. I've only had my
first time.
first
too.
time, dude.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
first time, man. My
It's
heart just
terrifying.
drops into my
Yeah.
ass.
Yeah.
You know. So you know what I do? It's 11:30 at night. I pull into a Gold Star. I'm like, he's gonna pass me. No, the Gold Star's closed. First off, and he just pulls up and just parks off
Yep.
to the side. I was like, I got 2 options here, because I grew up I got 2 options here. I can either run, or I can face what I got. And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, I'm just gonna face it, man, because it's coming back.
And yeah, if you
It's
run,
coming back.
you're not.
It's
getting
coming
very
back.
far.
Yeah, it's coming back. Because like I said, I grew up in a good spot. You
Yeah.
know, my drug addiction does not define where I came from.
Right.
So like, it's kind of weird. Like, if you saw me on the street, you wouldn't think that I'm a piece of shit. You know, but I am. So anyway, a cop does pull me over, and he says, "Where you coming from?" And my ass says, "From a party."
Nice.
Because I've never been pulled over before. I don't know what to say. My friend looks at me.
You're probably shaking like a fucking
Oh,
leaf.
dude, I'm sweating.
Yeah.
Sweating.
Those cops can smell that too.
Dude, I was a half a bottle of Bombay Deep.
Yeah.
Of course he smelled
Yeah.
me. So, unfortunately, my friend looked at me and goes, this is probably the last time I'm going to be able to hang out with you. I was like, yeah, probably. I mean, because his dad was a cop. Yeah.
damn.
So, his parents didn't like me for a long time. But it wasn't the last time we hung out. He was my best friend. He's my best friend
Right.
for forever. We're going through a patch right now, but he's still he's been through a lot with me.
Yeah.
He is a part of my story. Anyway, so I get this DUI. All I get is 30 days suspension. I think 10 alcohol classes. I'm 17. I don't go to jail. They go and take my blood.
Did you do that hotel stay? deal?
No. They literally
Not
did
even.
10 classes. I've always had a lawyer. My parents.
helps.
So my parents always paid for the lawyer, but I always had to pay him back. So I've literally always been poor. So
debt
that's
and do
another
that.
reason why I wasn't always being able to get the drugs that I wanted, because I always had to pay my parents back for the trouble I've been
Gotcha.
in. Anyway, so I get this DUI. School goes by, get my license back, go back to normal. Oh, actually, you know what? I will say this. This DUI changed something in me. This DUI made me stop drinking for 2 months. The 2 months in my life that I can remember that I willfully stopped drinking and wanted to. I smoked reefer, but I willfully stopped drinking and taking drugs for probably about a month or 2. But
Scared you
back
a little
on,
bit.
yeah, back on the horse, of course. You know what I mean?
Right.
I get through that year. I get taunted at school a lot. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me go into something really quick. This is why this one kind of fucked me up a little bit. It's a upperclassman party, and the cops bust it. And I'm the most hated kid in the school. But the reason the cops bust the party is the cops are asking me, where's this party? Of course I'm not going to tell you where this party is, so maybe they can hear this for the first time. Of course I didn't tell the cop where this party was. I show up to the hospital because they won't blow me. They have to blood me. Guess who's at the fucking hospital? My buddy who's at the party's mom. Standing in intake. Where's my son?
What the hell?
Where's my son? I'm like,
That's
he's
bizarre.
He's at this party.
Why the fuck
She
would
told
she be there?
she told the cops. The cops busted the party. Cops told him, I guess I told or something. I'm the most hated kid in school.
Because you're a rat.
I'm a rat.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess it's because I have a good heart. And you know what? If it was my son, I'd be like, where's my son? You know what I'm saying? But whatever. It's all behind me now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So
high school.
yeah, exactly. So that one fucked me up a little bit, because like now I no parties. You know what I mean? I don't like. I have my close friends, but I'm
Right.
looked at differently.
Right.
I did get a teacher to actually say something to me. I know I told you no teacher came up and said anything to me. I'm wrong. There was a teacher that came up to me that was really the basketball coach. Coach Sullivan came up to me and asked me if I was okay. That I still think of that today.
Really?
That meant a lot. I said I was good. But of course, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a 16-year-old boy. You know, I'm
Yeah.
trying to be a man. You
Right.
know, whatever. So anyway, that happens junior year. In the junior year, I go back to using drugs and alcohol, all types. I have my stints, my cocaine stints, my psychedelic stints, all this, you know what I'm saying? Parents do not know. My parents are aware of the alcohol. So my parents partied when
That's
they
how
were
it
in
was
school.
for me.
Yeah, my parents partied in school, so he's just in school. He's having
He's a
fun,
kid.
you know? I had a great relationship with my parents. I was truthful with them. My house was the house that you could go to, and if you wanted to drink, you couldn't drive home, but you were staying there to have a drink.
Right.
You're okay. You're okay there. You know, that's my house. My house was the house that you could come and party. My house was loud. I had fucking people there every weekend, you know. So it was that type of house. My parents probably had an inkling that I was using harder drugs, but they probably thought it was experimental.
Right.
Beyond me. Beyond me. If my son is drinking at the level that I was drinking that they knew about, I mean, I'm not judging them by any means. We'd be having a talk. But anyway.
Yeah.
Not saying it would have changed anything, but we would be having a talk.
I agree.
Anyway, so senior year, like you had said, it ramped up pretty bad for me. I'm drinking on school nights. I'm every night of the week I'm getting intoxicated on something, hard drugs, and mainly pot and alcohol. But if hard drugs came about, so the thing about me was this, because the alcohol was easy to get, the hard drugs would come in like in the beginning. After I would get drunk, I'd be like, man, I want something more. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be like, oh, I need hard drugs, and then it'd be like, let me get alcohol. I'll be enough. I'm like, no, this ain't enough. Let me get some hard drugs too. You know what I mean?
Always,
that alcohol would flick that light. You know what I mean? Always. So really, I was an alcoholic, but I'm still a drug addict.
Yeah.
You know. Anyway, senior year, I can't really, nothing of importance really happens senior year, except that I get my first chemical dependency at the very end. But I'm just using drugs constantly, flaring about it, showing off, telling everybody I'm using. I think I'm the king shit, man. I hate it now. I know people looked at me like he's a fucking idiot. Yeah, I was. So anyway, Xanax. That's my first chemical dependency is Xanax. I'm at work. Let me say this. I lose my job because I lose my job because I allegedly was stealing money from the cash register. I was buying drugs this time.
That came back to bite you.
No, yeah, this one did. So the part-time job, I was allegedly, I was buying clothes and shit.
Mm-hmm.
I was 15. And then I got a job at a place. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not proud of it yet. That's something I still have to work on.
Yeah.
I would like to maybe one day show up and maybe pay them back. I don't know. I don't know how much I took. But I got this job after my part-time job, and I had it from sophomore, junior. I got fired the beginning of senior year. I was stealing money allegedly, and I was supporting my marijuana habit.
How much money are you stealing? Not
a
whole lot.
I'm probably thinking at least $1,000 total.
Really?
Yeah. I'm not proud of that at all, but maybe that's something I work on in the future. But anyway, in the senior year, I get a new job, obviously. So I'm at work. I want to get high. It's a school night. I want to get high at the end of work. So I text my buddy that I've done all my first with. Hey, what's up? What's the word? He sends me 3 footballs back. Drug lingo. That's Xanax footballs. Yep. You know what I mean? Yep. So I had never taken a Xanax yet, and I knew what they were. I didn't know what they did. It's more like, oh, I just want to try it. You know what I mean? I didn't know really what it did. So I went and picked him up after work, got some. He snorted one right away, and you know how it is. Like that. You know what I mean? Xanax.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't take anything yet because I was driving. Get home. I drop him off. It takes him 10 minutes to walk to the house. I live right next door to him. Drive home. And I snort one. I fall asleep instantly because it's after work. It's at the end of the night. Wake up in my clothes I was in. I didn't know what was going on. I was like, oh shit, I got school. I have four footballs left. I take them for school. I don't take them all. I'm a snorter. Always been a snorter. That's just my thing. I like to. Anyway, so I snort one. I don't really remember much of the day. I remember bits and pieces, so I will tell you what I remember. I snort one. I go to class. I drive to school. I go to class first period. I remember falling asleep, and I remember being woken up by a buddy that I'm sitting next to. And I don't know about you, but when I would take Xanax and fall asleep and wake up, I would think I'm not high. I don't know if that's ever happened to you. You wake up and you're like, I don't feel nothing.
It's really common.
It's
with
weird.
Benzos, yeah.
It's weird. So that's what would happen. I wake up. I don't feel nothing. I'm good. Let me go take another.
Take another one.
I
Yep.
went and snorted another, before second period. Well, this happens, and all in all, 3 total times at school and 1 before school. So by third period, in each class, I'm asleep, and I'm a mess, apparently. I'm an absolute mess when I talk, when I walk,
sure.
of course.
Yeah.
I've never taken, obviously, I've never been high like this.
Yeah.
So by the end of it, I had been 2 milligrams deep. They're 0.5s. And I finally take the advice of my friends, go home. So I do. I go to the nurse, man, and they're like, I'm like, I have a stomach ache. They're like, okay. And they let me drive home. I'm just out of it. This is what gets me. So the next day I come back, I'm told by a buddy. He goes, so how the parking lot is right in front of the lunchroom. And it's lunchtime when I leave. So the lunchroom's full of people. They see everything. And I'm the second row, a 1-minute walk from the front door. It apparently took me 10 minutes to walk to my car. That's what I was told, and I was allowed to drive home. I don't know why. Anyway, I show up the next day to school, and the principal always stood out front. He was like, you feeling a little better? I mean, I'm like, dude, like, now that you think back, I'm like, you had to have known, but...
Suspected, maybe.
Yeah, suspected, maybe. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe because I'm in that mindset that I just think, like, if I see somebody like that, they gotta be messed up. But maybe if you're not in that life, you don't realize that. So I don't know. So that was how that happened. So the rest of the year ended up with taking Xanax and alcohol for the next year. So I graduate high school. I take a bunch of I'm taking Xanax all the time. I'm working full time. So how I would go about it and stuff. Actually, let me back up. We had talked about when my parents found out and why they started tracking me and stuff. My senior year, I had, of course, my drug buddies. One of my drug buddies threw a birthday party for him, and he would get stuff online a lot, like through black market and shit. So we don't really know what the fuck we were taking. And we were told it was ketamine. I'm pretty sure I don't know. It was more like a legit tranquilizer. Like, I mean, you were nodding out. It wasn't like a real ketamine high. It was. I don't know what it was, but it was something. But we were texting about it, right? And I had driven my mother's vehicle, I think the weekend after, and the text messages were still on my phone, and I think she suspected something was up. Leave my phone in there. She does her searching, and she finds that message. I'm asleep.
Damn.
I'm sleeping. I'm 18 years old, just fresh, or still in high school, I think. Actually. Yeah, still in high school. Yeah. My dad throws the phone onto my bed and goes, dude, don't be leaving your phone in there, man. My dad had experimented, so he understood a little bit more, but my mom's over here freaking the fuck out, which is understandable. I mean, I'm taking black market
tranquilizers.
At 18, you know what I mean? I don't know what I'm taking. I'm driving on this stuff too, man. Like, I was on the highway. I remember I drove off the highway, dipped into the median. It was bad, dude. Like, it's embarrassing to say. My dude pissed himself. It's just like, I mean, we're 18 years old. We don't, and we're suburban, so we're not around that stuff a lot. So it's a lot to us. You know what I mean?
Right.
But anyway, that's how they find out that I'm using drugs. Like I said, they knew I was drinking and a little bit of the weed. They were pretty hard on the weed. Honestly, more than the alcohol, which is funny, because it was back then when weed was bad. You know what I'm saying?
Not legal yet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So they've kind of let up a little bit. Anyway, so I Graduate high school. I'm working full time. What I would do is I would every single night, man. Every night I would get off work, and because I'm poor, I'm drinking Four Locos because I'm
Sure.
always in trouble because I'm always paying off a previous DUI. You know what I'm saying? So I'm always in some type of court fees, paying my mom back for lawyer
Yep.
fees. You know what I'm saying? So like I always work. I'm always working full time. Just have to pay back. Anyway, the next significant thing is my third DUI. It's
Wait,
on
is this all in Kentucky?
yeah, all
So
Kentucky.
when do they become felonies?
My last one. So when I got my first one, I have 5. They become felonies after 4. I
After
have
4.
5, but I have a 4th offense because I got one when I was 17, so they don't count it. Apparently,
Oh.
yeah. I got lucky.
Okay.
So
So if you had 5 as an adult, you go to prison.
yep. No, well, because in Kentucky you have to serve 10 years. So I think it might be. I think my 4th offense is a year. I think the 5th offense might be 5 years. I don't know. It might be 10. It might. I don't know. But in Kentucky, you have to serve 10 years or more, or it has to be violent to go to a prison. I have been told. Now I'm not 100%. This is just what I've been told in jail from previous people that are in jail.
Yeah.
You know, I'm taking their word for it. Maybe they know more than
Right.
me. But I've been told that you have to in order to go to an actual prison in Kentucky, you have to be sentenced with 10 years or more. Otherwise, you'll just go to a work camp.
Okay.
Yeah, and it also depends on the crime. I'm sure for
Yeah.
sure. I got a buddy that is in prison because he got manslaughter for selling some fentanyl. Kid died. Yeah,
Damn,
kid died.
yeah.
He got 20 years, so he's serving real
Jesus
time. Yeah,
Christ.
yeah, 20 years. He's serving real time. He's out of state though. They sent him out. He's fed. They feted him for
Yeah.
sure. Yep. So anyway, next significant thing is the third DUI. And this is how this one goes. I am at home by myself. I am taking Xanax pretty regularly, not every single day to where like I would go into withdrawal. I think honestly, I don't know because I've never really given myself a full 24 hours since I was like 15, really. Like without, I guess, yeah, I have. There were days where I just smoked pot, I'm sure. But like after high school, this time period, no, there wasn't a day that I went without alcohol, which causes withdrawal,
Yep.
without a Xanax, which does cause withdrawal. And then there were there were other drugs in the mix there. I would always mix constantly. I didn't care. And I never died. So, I mean, I just
Right.
kept doing it, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? It didn't care what I was doing. I honestly didn't think twice about it, which is crazy now that I think about it. So I get my third DUI. I'm at home. I take a couple Xanax and I drink a pint of whiskey. I have a buddy come over and I want to continue the party. I am unsuccessfully at this time trying to sell Xanax to support my habit, but I'm obviously
Just mowing through them.
eating all my supply, you know. So I'm like, I gotta go get
Gotta
more.
be one of the hardest drugs to sell, dude.
Gosh, because you forget you take them.
I know.
You literally forget you take them.
Yeah.
Like, I have stories galore. I won't bore you. You know exactly what they are. You know what I'm saying? But you know the stealing, all those types
Yep.
of stories. You know.
Yep.
Anyway.
Stealing for no reason.
For no reason at all. Lying for no reason.
Yep.
The one I do have a crazy one. I don't remember any of this. I put a rifle to my head and said I was gonna kill myself. My parents apparently got rid of the guns that night. Apparently they got rid of them. I didn't know that I did that because years later I was like, "Where's Dad's rifle?" They were like, "You don't remember? You pointed it to your head and said you're gonna blow your brains out."
The
I was
fuck
like,
do you point a rifle to
what?
your head?
I don't know. I don't know.
Underneath.
She could have been exaggerating somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know. My mom's an exaggerator, so I don't know. But somehow, some way, I got my hands on it or some shit, and they were like, "Nope, he's using drugs. He might do it." You know what I'm saying? You never know. And then I also, I will admit to this, I did push my now wife down the steps because we were arguing.
Jesus.
Because of my
Yeah.
use, obviously. There are things that I won't obviously say, but you know exactly what you can imagine.
Yeah.
So that I'm not proud of. Anyway, this is actually the last time I used Xanax is my third DUI that night. So my friend comes over, he's completely sober. I want to continue the party. And I also ran out of what I was trying to sell. So I'm going to get more. He asked, "Are you sober?" I love to drive, fucked up. excuse my language. I was like, of course, you know. So I'm driving. I forget my wallet. I'm like 5 minutes down the road from my house. So I whip it into a turnaround, pull back onto the main road. I thought I looked both ways. Apparently I didn't. And boom, my driver's side quarter panel gets smacked coming. He's coming this way. I'm going this way. You know, I'm turning this way.
Fuck.
He's going this way. You know, and I get boom. You know what I'm saying? I even out, and I'm like, my drug riddled brain is like, run,
Go.
of course. You know, I don't know the damage to the vehicle yet. Boom, it was pretty bad. He hit the wheel. The wheel. So I got probably about 2 to 3 miles down the road, and I had to pull into a neighborhood. In hindsight, should I have ran because the cops weren't there? Nothing. It was all quiet for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But I look at him. I'm like, bro, you gotta say you were driving. He goes, okay. I was like, bro, I'm high on Xanax and alcohol right now. He's like, I figured you were. I was like, okay, you'll take it? He goes, okay. That's not how it worked. He was a good buddy. Like, I'm not saying like he ratted me out by any means. No. I think I forget how it happened. Like I said, foggy, Xanax, you know. But all in all, truth came out. I got the DUI that night and everything. No remorse to him.
Did the cops come to the scene?
Oh yeah, to where I was parked.
Right.
So this is what happened. My dad pulled up. I called my dad first. Like I pull up and I was like, Dad, I'm intoxicated and it's just what happened. He was like, oh, stay there. I'm coming to get you. And his idea was to dip. He was like, they can say it was you, but there's no proof.
No, you're not going to get a DUI. Hit and run.
Honestly, you know what I'm saying? Should I have
that
just
happened to
fucking
me before?
dipped?
That's why I know.
Yeah, so would I have dipped?
I mean, I hit a light pole at like 45 miles an hour and just it was like 3 a.m, got out of the car, walked home. The next morning, the cops showed up and were like, hey, how you feeling, Mr. Essig? You know, we found your car on the road, da-da-da-da-da. And all they did was charge me with a hit and run. They scared me. They put me in the back of the cruiser like they were going to arrest me, but they had no proof of anything.
Exactly, dude.
So
now that I'm thinking, I should have just dipped, man. I really should have just, let's go. Because
if I had been stopped, I would have been done, DUI, for sure. But the next morning, what can they do?
Yeah, wow. You know what? I mean, that's the one thing. That's one of the times I do look back like, man, maybe I should have. But you know what? I'm a very big believer in owning up to your mistakes. So you know what? Maybe I would have changed if I ran. You know, maybe I wouldn't be where I'm at today. I don't know. It happened for a reason or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, I get this DUI. I'm on Xanax that night. You know how that makes you react. I'm talking all suicidal and stuff. You know what I mean? Gonna kill myself.
Talking crazy.
Turtle suit comes out. I show up to jail. Yeah, the famous turtle suit.
Bet you regretted that immediately.
Yeah, but mine kind of comes back to haunt me. It sucks. So I can't remember. I'm sitting there talking to my wife about this, so something doesn't make sense. So I'm pretty sure this punishment is for my second DUI, but it wouldn't make sense if it was, or for my, I guess, yeah, my second. No, I guess this would be it. Mixture. Anyway, it doesn't really matter to the story. So I get put in this turtle suit, saying I'm going to kill myself. I'm not suicidal. It's just the drugs.
Yeah.
I get let out, I believe, just the next day. I believe for this is a 6-month suspension and no jail time or anything like that. Like I said, I had a lawyer, so he was always a respected lawyer.
Yep.
Same lawyer every single time. So I don't believe there was any jail time. So I never got cleared by the doctor, because I believe it was on a weekend, so the doctor wasn't there to clear me of the turtle suit.
Gotcha.
So anyway, I get my license back. I get my license back, and within a month of me getting my license back, I get my 4th DUI.
Jesus, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Let me fall back a little bit. So I stopped taking Xanax, and I stopped hanging out with those people, talking to those people. Some time passes. I have a buddy that went to school with me, high school, that wasn't a drug user, liked to take my Concerta and drink a lot, but he was a basketball player, so he didn't do the harder stuff. We partied and everything, but he just drank alcohol and sometimes took my Concerta. So anyway, he goes down to school to UK and experiments and comes back up with a love of speed. You know, it kind of, I guess, you know, concerto in high school, and yeah,
Yep.
exactly. It come to come.
Escalated.
He fails out of school. You know, he shouldn't have been down there. I actually work for him now. That's later in my story.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we're both clean. So, but anyway, he comes back up. We link back up. So I stopped hanging out with the Xanax friends. So Xanax kind of just gets put into the dust, but alcohol, of course, not. Alcohol is still every day. Of course, it's never stopped. It's never slowed. Whenever I can drink it, I drink it. Not before work or anything. Still working full time. Still living at home. Anyway, he comes back up. We link up and everything, and I think he found the connection with a buddy that I partied with, but he didn't in high school. But anyway, he had cocaine, and that was the start of our cocaine binge. It was probably a year heavy, and then drift, and then here and there type of stuff, but a year heavy. So it was every single month, or not every single month, every single weekend, Friday, Saturday, for me at least. So like I would go to work, you know, do my thing, and he would go to work, do his full-time job, and we would link up on the weekends and just stay up all weekend and do cocaine. You know, we never had money to go out, so it was always just me and him, just, you know, sitting inside of a fucking apartment, just snorting cocaine, talking about how we're gonna do better in life, and you know how it is, man.
Telling the same story.
Yes, dude, smoking 2 packs of cigs each. You know what I'm saying? He's working HVAC at the time, so that's what he went and did. I don't know if you know anything about HVAC, but if you ever heard about anything brazen, it's like welding, but it's HVAC side. We're sitting here, it's 3:00 in the morning, blowing this torch loud as fuck, dude, doing stupid shit, you know what I mean? But anyways, that's what I was into at that time. I didn't use any other drugs, and it leaked into the weekday, but not so much for me, more for him. But anyway, so that was my drug of choice at the time. This is about the 2017 time. 2 years graduated from high school. Just cocaine and any type of speed we could get. We tried psychedelic. He tried psychedelics with me for the first time in that time frame, and you know, Molly's there, ecstasy's there, you know, stuff like that, but mainly coke. But anyway, so my third DUI comes about. So I'm at work. I work a second shift job at this time. It's a factory. I was in between jobs. I was young, you know what I'm saying? I was in between. I hadn't found my path yet because I failed out of school. You know, I'm working full time, but I don't know what I want to do. Anyway, I'm at work, getting off at 10. It's a Friday night. He has to work. He's doing HVAC. He has to work the next day. He works a Saturday. And he's like, dude, I got this coke. I want to do it tonight. I'm like, but you got work, man. Why don't we save it for Saturday night? And we'll, you know. So obviously, drugs hadn't taken over everything yet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I still had some rationality in there, a little bit, but it didn't take long to convince me. He was like, bro, just come on, we'll get some more. I was like, fuck it, let's do it. So that's what we do. But the night died young. You know what I mean? Obviously, because he's like, I got work, I gotta go to bed. I was like, okay, well, I'm not gonna go to bed. You know what I mean? So I'm texted a buddy that lived right next to me, 10, 15 minutes down the road. I was like, hey, you want to chill? He was like, sure, come on over. He's a big drinker. He was actually the buddy that I could take all the drugs with. He was the buddy that would take all the drugs.
Okay.
I didn't have many. I had him and like 2 others, but he was the friend that would hang out with my other friends that didn't do all the drugs. Like that, he was the one friend that I could, but then I had the darker friends that did like the harder drugs that I couldn't bring them around them. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Different types of friend groups.
Yep.
Anyway, so I'm going to his house and I blow through a stop sign again. Yeah, fucking stop signs, man. Cops sitting there and I see him too. As I'm blowing through it, I just look at him.
It's just in your fucking suburban neighborhood, sitting around like that.
Yeah. Oh
Jesus
yeah.
Christ.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's an upper scale neighborhood part. My neighborhood was not, but it was connected to an upper scale neighborhood. That neighborhood, yeah, for sure. Yeah, so he's just sitting there and I get pulled over and I'm like, man, I've had some drinks. I'm wired like a mother, you know. So he shows up and I was pretty smooth with this one because I was very understanding right at that point because I was so high. I was clear-minded. You know, the drunk wasn't there.
Right.
Because I was so high. I'm over there just grinding my teeth and I'm just like, I'm getting a DUI, man. This sucks. I just looked and I was like, man, can you just take me? You know what's up. He's like, I got to do this field sobriety test, man. I'm like, whatever. So I fail, I get my third DUI. Second offense, though. Second offense. Because the first one was at 17.
Minor,
Yeah,
right.
first one was at 17, so second offense. So this comes with the jail time. So that second one that I got was actually my first offense according to law. That Xanax one, so I didn't get any jail time for that.
Yeah.
So that's why. So that second one, I get jail time, but it's just supposed to be a week or 2 weeks, I believe, something like that. But I have a good lawyer. I get it boiled down to weekends because I was like, hey, I just started this new job. I need this job. So they're like, okay, cool, we'll do this. Yada yada. We'll do weekends. I'm in a turtle suit because they didn't clear me from the doctor.
Oh,
I get
really?
Put in the
so you don't
suit.
even get put in general population?
No,
you just sit in the fucking turtle suit on the weekends?
Sit in the turtle suit in a
That's fucking crazy.
In a single man cell.
Hold on. That makes no sense. Because you're free to go to work and you're free-willed during the week.
Mm-hmm.
But then on the weekend, they pop you in a fucking turtle suit like you're suicidal?
Yeah.
That's fucking
wild.
Makes no sense.
I know, dude. I know.
Because you're going to work during the week. You're functioning as a member of society. Then you walk into the jail, and all of a sudden you're suicidal.
I know. It's
what
wild.
the fuck,
I know.
dude?
It's literally insurance, man. It's all insurance. It's wild.
So
how insurance
weird.
can just dictate human just interaction and common sense. Like, dude, common sensely, I'm not suicidal. Why am I in this suit? And they even said that to me. They were like, we are sorry, but you have to go in this suit. I'm like, that's wild.
I mean, I guess it keeps you at a gin pop. If you're doing weekends, it's not a bad thing.
Yeah, but I was by myself.
Yeah.
Completely by myself.
Still,
no mat.
Gin
no
pop
blanket.
Can be a bitch.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. But I would at least like a mat and a blanket, dude. I'm free. They didn't give me toilet paper. I didn't shit for 2 days.
Yeah, that's
because they wouldn't give me. If I would have asked, hey, can I have some toilet paper? But I just felt I couldn't take a shower. I was like, dude,
that does suck.
Yeah, dude, it sucked. So yeah. Luckily, the second weekend, I think it was the last day, they finally were like, dude, you're not suicidal. Get out of here. Come on. Fuck that insurance, whatever. Something like that. They let me go into a 10-man cell for like holding or whatever for the last day. So that was nice. Anyway, so that passes. That's my third DUI. I lose my license for a year. I get the Toxalock the first time for this. Yeah, but I'm driving a manual at this time, which sucks. So I'm shifting gears and it's not.
Damn.
I'm like, this is not safe, but whatever. At least I can drive. I don't have to have people driving me around and stuff. I lose my license for a year. That's a long time.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I need to drive to work and such. So that happens. What happens next? The cocaine, third DUI. Oh, this is in the time where my buddy. So time goes on. I run into, that's where it is. So how I told you before that the weight has a thing in my story, like how I got chubby. When I was 15, I had a friend that was just jacked, you know what I'm saying, like super cut. And I just asked him, how do you work out? So he told me how to work out. So ever since 15 years old, I've worked out. That's why I have this shirt. My mom bought it for me for Easter, and it's just 2 things that I love. I am now religious because of my thing, but lift heavy and pray hard. So I always lifted weights. It's goofy. I would always just get high after lifting weights. You know what I'm saying? And drink after lifting weights. Anyway, so I'm leaving. The reason I say this is because I'm leaving the gym, and this is where downhill is. I'm on a sled. This is where I go. I meet my plug for pills. I leave, and like I said, I was drinking every day, so 4 Locos at the time, every single day. Unfortunately, because I'm so poor, even though I'm working 40 plus hours a week.
Great way to get drunk cheap.
Yeah. I mean, dude, it was disgusting. Whatever.
It is disgusting.
Yeah, it's embarrassing, dude. At this point, I think I'm 21, or no, I'm 20. I'm 20 years old, but I have a fake ID. I'm 20, but you just... That shit 16-year-olds drink, you know what I'm saying? You look like a child buying that shit, but whatever. Anyway, you do what you do when you're an alcoholic or a fucking drug addict. You do what you do. You don't care. Anyway, I go and buy my 4 Locos at the Ameristop right by the gym, and there's a kid there that was on the darker side of friends that I hadn't seen since high school, but he was into pills, heroin, methamphetamine in high school. So I wouldn't say he was my friend outside of school, but I talked to him in school, so I knew who he was. But he asked me, he knew I partied. He's like, hey, you into perks? I was like, of course. and that's where I find my, like, I had done pain pills before, Vicodins, I had, your liquid oxycodone, all the opiates that were popular at the time, basically Percocet.
Yeah.
I had, so it's not like it was new to me, but I didn't have a surplus supply. But so I got it from him. So what I was doing at the time was I was working, and what I would do is I would get off of work all day long, man. I am blowing him up because he's a drug addict like a full blown drug addict at this time, full blown heroin, stealing, robbing, what I'm saying. Like I haven't reached that edge just yet, but obviously I was on the path. So he was shoddy with texting back.
Yeah.
I'm not used to that because I'm suburban kid, give me my shit now type of, what I'm saying, impatient kid, you know what I'm saying? So I'm blowing him up constantly all day long for him to text me back. I'm thinking about getting high on heroin all day long. Like if it had it my way, I'd have a supply right at my workbench that I was working, you know what I'm saying, at all times. But unfortunately at the time, grateful now, it didn't happen that way. So I'm constantly blowing him up. And I didn't know that I could just go to the city and get the stuff. I hadn't been in that world yet. He obviously introduced me. So for the longest time, I was going through him to get pain pills. And it was always after work. And one day they start getting harder to find. It was real quick too. I think in my mind, he really was just trying to use me for a lick to get his dope.
Yeah.
Or not think, he was.
Yeah.
So in my mind, I'm thinking he's got all these licks for pain pills. No, he doesn't. He's got all these licks for dope. You know what I mean? Pain pills at this time, dude, it's 2018, bro. They're gone. Yeah, they're gone, bro. You're not finding pills. No. Rarely are you finding pills. You're finding more Suboxone than anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I mean, if you don't, dude, I've never had a real 30 in my life.
Yeah.
I've never seen one. I've had 30s full of fentanyl. Yep. That was my first 30 that I thought I was taking was a 30, but it was fentanyl. Yep. But anyway, so I sorry, running. Where did I go? Oh yeah, I meet him. So I'm getting pills through him. Pills run out. I try heroin because one day he goes, hey, do you want to run me to the city? I'll get you a Suboxone. I said, sure, that's fine. I know what you're getting. It's not a big deal. I don't care. I'm crossing another line. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling myself it's all right. I won't do it, but I'll go get you it, Well, I can't get you the Suboxone, man. I'm sorry. This typical. I was like, oh, fuck, man. I'm trying to get high. Like, give me some of that, So I snort a line and I love it, So now all my energy isn't I would say it's half and half. Like, I know what I'm doing. I know, like, if I go down this slope, I'm not coming back. But I'm like, the other half of me's like, fuck it, man. This shit's awesome. So
much cheaper.
Yeah. So I slowly. It's very slow for me. It's like every couple days I get a 20. You know what I mean? It ramped up to about 5 days a week. I got in trouble before it could get worse, but anyway, so by the end, he starts becoming my dealer for heroin. And now all my friends are drifting away. And in this time frame, my buddy gets into pills himself, and the buddy that's in jail now. So we start doing stuff together sometimes, but he drifts off a lot. He sells stuff to a friend, or a friend of his. Friend dies. He's in prison for 20 years. So that affects me a lot. So I am still doing the heroin 4 or 5 days a week, going full time to work. And then I get my 4th DUI. And I go to pick him. So I get off work early that day, 12 o'clock. And because I went in at 4 a.m., get off at 12. Text dude, hey, you want to go get some dope? Yeah, I can go. Yeah, let's go get some dope. I am drinking, of course. I'm drinking. I'm always drinking every single day. So the alcohol is still in the background. So I'm drunk at the time that I pick him up. So when I'm doing the heroin, I am doing it with alcohol every single time. Every single time that I use the heroin, or fentanyl, I'm sorry, the fentanyl and the pain pills, it's always with alcohol. I never mixed opiates with other drugs, but it was always with alcohol. Every type of drug, because I always thought alcohol intensified everything, which it does. So I'm always trying to reach that maximum high, you know what I'm saying? So alcohol was because I loved it and because it always gave me the maximum effect. So I am drinking and I say I want to go get some dope. Why I didn't get the dope first, I don't fucking know. But I text dude, say, hey, you want to go get some dope? Because yeah, okay. So I tell him, you're going to have to drive. So in the meantime of this is just a side note of the story. This is a point in my life where my mom knows that I'm a heroin addict. I actually admitted it because I was nervous for myself. I was because me and the friend that's in prison now had a falling out before he went to prison because he was getting really bad on like worse than me on pills and stuff. He was just becoming a real piece of shit, blaming me for things, yada yada. He told my mom that I took Xanax from him. So I just finally said, Mom, I'm a heroin addict. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know why I said it. It's just, I felt like I needed to get off my chest. It just made things, I guess, worse for me because I wasn't done using. But, so at this point, my mom is tracking my money, tracking my location. My now wife, who, like I said, I've been with for 15 years, is tracking my location, not my money or anything, but my location. So I'm trying to dodge them and everything. You know what I mean? So the fourth DUI, so I get off at noon. I'm like, perfect time. Like, nobody's home. I can go get my dope. No, I can turn off. So I do turn off my phone and everything, so they won't find out what I'm doing. But, you know, they know if you turn it off. Right. I just don't give a shit. So I turn it off, and I'll deal with it later, you know. And we go get the dope. I tell him to drive because I'm like, I don't want to get pulled over because I'm drinking. Well, drop him off. I have to drive home from his house to my house, obviously. Dude, I'm nodding out hard behind the wheel, and it's stop and go traffic. I'm driving a manual. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit difficult. You know what I'm saying? I'm over here fucking... I guess I'm going in the other lane and shit. Apparently, I was told by the girl that I hit. Well, I'm literally pulling into my neighborhood. All of my DUIs have been, besides my last one, literally 2 minutes from my house. All of them. Every single one of them. The first one might have been like 4 or 5 minutes from my house, but still. But all the other ones are like right outside my neighborhood, dude. So I'm the next car to go, turn left, and she's turning left too, but she stops and I don't realize it. Boom! Fucking hit her. So we pull in. I get out. I'm like, hey, can I please just pay you? Yeah. She's pissed. She's one of them. She's mad. You're fucking. Oh my gosh, it's so not understanding. That happened not that long
ago, dude.
Yeah, no,
like, it was, I want your insurance. Fuck you.
Right away, dude. Yeah. She right away. I'm calling the police right now. You're swerving. You're fucked up. I'm like, okay. I had the dope in my car. I do my last line, and I think I ditched the rest because I didn't want to like overdose or anything. So I sort of line, ditched it, whatever. And cop pulls up and he's like, so are you drunk? No. You know, I'm scared. I'm obviously 2 4 Locos deep because that's my go-to, you know. And I blow over the limit, and he doesn't ask about drugs or nothing. So, but thank God. But once I got into his car, dude, you know, once you sit down on opiates, how that is, especially with alcohol, man, I'm fucking back there like this, so bad. He's like, are you good, man? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. But other than that, it went smooth. Whatever. But by this point, nothing else mattered, like drug, like usage wise. The only thing that I wanted was fentanyl and alcohol. Yep. That's the only thing I wanted. I did not want pain pills. I did not want cocaine. I did not want Xanax. I did not want marijuana. I didn't want any of that stuff, man. I just wanted fentanyl. That's all. I mean, it took over my. You know, takes over your life. Yep. So for this punishment, I get 30 days jail, 2-year license suspension. But I get the Intoxilock. So that's the thing that blows my mind. Like, do we really learn our fucking lesson? If, like, I'm actually a drug addict, like, at this point.
Right.
The, alcohol is also a bonus because it's easy to get to, you know what I'm saying? But truly, if you were to be like, hey, Jake, you want heroin or you want alcohol? I want heroin.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I lose my train of thought sometimes. I'm sorry.
Well, it's easy to blow zeros when you're doing dope.
Yeah, thank you. That's what I'm trying to say. Exactly. So you get this Intoxilock, man. I can do all the dope I want and drive this vehicle.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So I am. That's what I'm doing. But I was also still an alcoholic because I know this pretty. I was pretty heavy alcoholic because I was able to time the type of liquor I was drinking, or beer, or Four Loko, or whatever, to the time that I'd be able to start my vehicle. Because I would drink every single night, and I had to go to work in the morning.
Right.
So I had to time when I would be able to time when to stop. For what I was drinking, I knew when to stop at what time. If it was liquor, stop earlier. If it was beer, I could go a little later. If it was Four Lokos, go a little later, whatever. So I'm working around all this. You know, it's so exhausting at this point, but I don't think that. Just as long as I get high or drunk, man.
Yep.
Anyway, so that 4th DUI happens, 2-year license suspension.
You did 30 days on that?
Yeah, I did 30 days. The longest, I thought was the longest 30 days. It sucked, man. I worked out. I did not work out at all. I didn't. I just sat there just depressed. I started getting into reading. That was cool.
Yeah.
If you have nothing to fucking do, you know what I'm saying? It sucks. And Boone County, I mean, it's just probably like every county. They may not even let you do rec. You know what I'm saying? You're lucky if you get to do rec, bro.
Yeah, we don't do rec in Franklin
County. Yeah, man. Like so it is what it is. But 30 days goes by, and I go on vacation right afterwards.
Nice.
So you would think so, but this is the first DUI that my parents are finally like, you're getting clean. And I go, and there's alcohol everywhere. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting there fighting it. And I don't know how to do it, man. I'm 19 at this time.
Yeah.
Or no, 20 or between 19 and 20. I'm sorry about my timeline. It's a very long time gap. Mm-hmm. I was an addict from 16 to 29. I'm 29 now. So it's a long gap, 13 years. So it's kind of hard to remember sometimes. Anyway, so I go on vacation and it is difficult. I don't drink or nothing because I don't have it, because it's a family vacation. So, so everybody there knows, you know what I mean? Yeah. But people still do drink, you know, they're not getting drunk or anything, but I'll see a few beers. I'm basically in the room the whole time because I'm just pissed at the world that I have to be sober. I just hate everybody. I hate everybody.
Bet it sucks.
Yeah. And I don't know what's going on with me, man. I don't know why I'm like this. I'm like, I can handle it.
Fucking drink and use, and you can't.
I know, but it's just so crazy. Like
bugs you.
Yeah, fuck, dude, it took over my life, man. Like I was so self-centered. I mean, every addict is, you know, obviously, but like, as much as I faked it, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I'll do anything for you, dude. If I get high first, in the back of my head is like, as long as I get high or drunk first, I'll do anything for you. You know what I'm saying? But if I don't, screw you. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Fuck off.
Yeah. So anyway. Get back from that vacation. I do want to say that I'm still, this woman has seen everything. I do want to point this out. My wife that I'm with now, I've been with since I was 15. So off and on in high school because I was a piece of shit. Steadily since the year after high school, 2016. Got married in 2021. So 15, I've known her for 15 years, however long we've been together, whatever that time frame is. It might be 13 or 14. I'm not sure, but she's seen it all. So, just props to her, man. She, has seen all the drug use, you know, and she's not a user. She had, so I don't know how she really truly feels about it. It's different, you know what I mean? So, but I'm very thankful for her. I do want to point that out, that support, she is a major part in it. So we get back, she's by my side. What happens next? I guess the next thing of importance is she gets pregnant. No, I'm sorry. After, you know, wow, this is the bit, I'm sorry, what I had mentioned to you, the Kratom and the 7-OH, this is where this enters. After the 4th DUI, I get out. And I'm not using heroin again. I forgot. Yeah, I did stop using heroin because I had said I was trying to get clean on this DUI. So I didn't go through. I guess I didn't go through any withdrawal because, like I said, I wasn't taking it every single day, but it was 3, 4, 5 times a week sometimes, but it did control my life. That's all I thought about. But because I had to dodge them, sometimes it was hard to get to it. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I would revert back to just drinking. I mean, I wouldn't be happy about it, but I mean, you know what I mean? The Kratom, yeah. So I'm just drinking, and I actually revert to smoking weed at this time. I moved back to smoking a lot of weed to help me with staying off hard drugs. Sure. So that works. That works pretty good actually for a couple of months. I'm doing good, but I can see myself slipping with the alcohol. I start with just friends, and then it starts to be by myself again, and then it starts to slowly go into every single day. Yep. It's just the start up again. Yep. Well, this is when I had TikTok. I'm on TikTok and I see this dude mixing up this green powder, man. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? And I see on the comments, legal opiates, like I can't believe they sell this shit. Like shit gets you high as hell. It's basically an opiate. I'm like, whoa, what is this? And Kratom. Have you ever heard of Kratom?
I've heard of Kratom. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Have you ever talked to anybody about it?
I've done Kratom, but it's been fucking
years,
ages.
Okay, so you did probably powder.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what
I like. It was back. Fuck, dude. I mean,
so it's been around a while.
We're talking like 2011.
Oh wow. Okay, so it's been around.
But it was like shitty.
Okay.
It was powder, but there was like leaves in it. Ooh. And like, yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. So what I first started taking was powder. But anyway, so I had some clean time off of opiates, probably a couple months, something around there. Mm. I don't know exactly what. After the 30 days and everything, I had some clean time off of opiates. I was trying to right my life, but I was just smoking and drinking. I take this. I find a gas station that sells this stuff, and I take it. It's a green powder, and it tells you. I look up how to use it on Reddit. It tells you to pour it in. I find this funny, but it's foul if you remember. It's fucking disgusting. I didn't have a chaser with me at all. I was actually at the gym when I first tried it. I was leaving the gym to go to my second job to unfortunately pay for a DUI in the past that I had to work. I've always had to work a lot because of DUIs. I took it before that job, and dude, I was so high. But then the funny thing was I took a sip of it and instantly spit it back out of how terrible it was. Like, it actually truly, like, I didn't do it on purpose. My body reactively spit it out of how disgusting it tastes. You know what I'm saying? Gross. Like, my body wasn't prepared for that. So I was like, wow, I need a chaser for this. So I mix something, I don't know. So I drink it, but dude, I'm zooted. So what I would also do is I would end up finding out that if you smoked weed on top of it, so the Kratom, I'd done a little bit of research. I'm not claimed to know everything about it, but from my experience and from what I've found out about it, like the chemicals in it, if you take enough of it, like I take a lot, because I was taking a lot. I was taking 30 grams a day, or 60 grams a day total at my height with the powder. 60 grams a day, 2 times a day, sometimes 3. It would be 60 to 90 actually. I would take 1 in the morning, 30 gram, and then when I get home, a 30 gram. And a normal dose, like for somebody that doesn't take any, is like 1 to 2 grams, bro.
Not 30.
Yeah. It's a lot of powder. I mean, it's like that much powder, bro. It's a shitload of powder. So I'd mix with chocolate milk. That was always the best thing I found. I'd mix it with chocolate. I would take a swig of the Kratom, take a swig of chocolate milk, and it would wash away the flavor. So I find this stuff. I think it's a miracle drug. I didn't know anything about withdrawal off of it or anything. Yeah. At this time, this is where I say my story isn't so severe. I've never experienced a withdrawal. I've touched every type of drug, but I feel like because I've used something, I still have not felt any type of withdrawal, or I haven't maybe used enough of it. I don't know. I'm not sure. I just physical withdrawal. Physical. I don't know about mental. I couldn't tell you, but physical withdrawal, I have not really felt uncomfortable. I'm taking this stuff, and I'm taking it 10 months for 10 months straight, every single day. I do not miss a day for 10 months straight, every single day. But the reason why I thought it was a miracle drug was because kill my alcohol craving. I never drank again. I still don't drink. You know what I'm saying? So like it just made alcohol not fun anymore. So I was like, wow, that's great. It made me energetic because opiates always gave me energy. which is, if you've ever heard that, I'm sure you
Yeah.
have.
Oh,
Yeah. I used to love to clean, and you know what I'm saying. I love to go to work. Go to work. I love it. Get high at work. It's just smooth. You know what I mean? Whatever. So it gave me energy to go to work. It did everything that heroin would do without being heroin. You know, I could go to the gym on it. Like, it wouldn't affect me so much that, like, if I sat. So this is how it is. If you sit down, you're not out. If you stand up, you're energetic. Just like any type of, you know what I mean, opiate can be. So that's why I crossed off all my, my markers that I wanted. I wanted to be able to go to the gym. I can get it at any corner store. I can use a credit card to get it. You know, I don't even have to have money at the time. You know, basically a front. You know, I can walk distance. I don't have to dodge my mom. And at this point, I'm still living at home. I still have to kind of dodge my mom. But definitely my fiance, we're in the process of getting engaged at this time, I believe. So it's mainly her that's tracking me. So I don't really have to dodge her anymore. I just go to the shop after work. That's right next to my work. Pick it up, go home. She'll never know nothing. You know what I'm saying? And it's not so severe to where, like, I am incapacitated. You know what I mean? It's enough for me to feel okay and not crave more heroin, or, you know what I'm saying, have a shitty attitude, but it's enough to get shit done. But anyways, at the height, 10 months in, I'm taking 60 to 90 grams a day. I'm on the powder. I'm probably spending about 200 a week on this stuff, whether it's credit card or cash, whatever. So I'm going into debt with this stuff. Withdrawal sets in, or my body starts to hurt. My body starts getting random pains and like I said, I've always been a very big workout guy, so I notice when I have body pains. You know what I mean? So I started noticing weird pains in my body, and I'm like, dude, it's got to be one thing and one thing only. It's got to be the Kratom that I take every single day. It's just I feel dirty by this time that I'm taking it, man. It's just dirty. I'm smoking so much pot. I'm at this point. I'm smoking dabs because that's the most potent. It's actual, not pen or anything. It's an actual wax, just so I can get as high as I possibly can. It's just another drug that I'm getting addicted to. You know, the highest extreme that I can get off of that drug. I was like, I got to get off this stuff. My wife is pregnant at this time. That's when I find out I'm having a child, unexpectedly. So I'm trying to get off this drug, for the kid, and he's born. I'm not off the drug yet. I can't get off of it. You know, it's the withdrawal I have never truly experienced a heroin withdrawal. But they say it's pretty damn close. Similar, it's all the shakes, the restless leg, the shits, the throwing up, the stomach aches, the no motivation, no appetite, can't sleep, all of those. You know. Yep. So I can't say if it's as severe but it's the most severe thing that I've ever been through. So it's the hardest thing that I've ever been through. So I'm going back and forth to it, trying not to use it. Well, my son is a month old. And they're asleep on the couch. It's a Saturday morning. This is my 5th DUI. This is 2022. My son is born February of 2022. This is March 12th of 2022. I am 2 pints of vodka deep without my wife knowing. Because of the withdrawals. I'm trying to curb the withdrawals. But I'm trying not to use the Kratom. I'm going through it bad. And I say, fuck this. I'm going to get real dope. So I go get real dope. Let me step back a little bit. A week prior, because I was trying to get clean off this Kratom, I went back to dope. You know, I thought about going back to dope. I was trying to find something that would give me ease that was not Kratom. You know what I'm saying? It makes no sense. You know what I mean? I'm going back to another fucking substance that's going to give me withdrawal. It makes no sense. I was trying to find comfort somewhere. So I'm leaving work one night late, and I pull up and to a gas station and ask random dude, hey, where's some dope at? And he hops in, we go get some dope, and no overdose, I'm good. This is the very first time I had taken dope in 1 year from the Kratom. I had been 1 year clean off of fentanyl, and everything went smooth. No overdose, so I was like, hell yeah, man, this is nice. I'm gonna get back into it, you know what I'm saying? This is it. So a week goes by, using Kratom. But this Saturday I had not used because I just feeling bad because my kid, you know what I'm saying? He's a month old. My wife apparently was going through postpartum, but I'm so worried about myself, man, that I don't even notice it. Yep. It's one of my deeper regrets. That's one of the things you can't make up, but every day I try to make up for it. Anyway, so sitting there playing video games. She's passed out with the 1-month-old. They say they change you. If you're a drug addict, they don't.
No,
they don't.
no.
I will say something I'm not proud of. When she was giving birth, after she gave birth, he was born already, but he was there laying there sleeping. I took her car. I was able to drive this time, no restrictions or anything. I took her car to go get Kratom while she's laying there, recovering. I said, hey, I'm going to go get high really quick. And because I was going through withdrawal, and she said, okay. She's been through it all. And she hates it. She's not accepting of this, but I mean, what else is she going to do?
Right.
She loves me. You know what I'm saying? She's seen it all. But anyway, it's just something I'm not proud of. It's one of the deeper regrets that I have. Anyway, so I go and get fentanyl that day. That they're asleep. I go down there or go get a 40 out. Go down there, go to the show down in Cincinnati. I don't know if you've ever been to Cincinnati. There's a show in Cincinnati that all the drug dealers go to. There's bars on the windows, and it's the ghetto.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's off of what people will know if they're from Cincinnati, know exactly what show I'm talking about. It's not a good place to be. I knew there was dope there, so instantly I pull up. Colored fella, you know what I mean? Knew exactly what I'm talking about. Waves me around the corner. 40, great. I don't know if it was fentanyl, car fentanyl. I don't know. I don't care. I'm already 2 pints of vodka deep, and I instantly snorted. I knew I was going to overdose. Let me step back just for real quick. I didn't want to go into all the stories because you guys already know all the stories, but at this time I have overdosed 4 times. My mom has found my very first time was with a friend that is now in prison. I was going through a spout of cleanliness from heroin, not from drugs, but just from heroin or fentanyl. So my wife was gone out of town, so my borders were down. So I texted that friend. I said, "Hey man, I haven't seen you in a while." This was after he had told my mom that I'd stole Xanax from him. So that's why I told her I was a heroin addict. So I didn't really talk to him anymore. He texted me. He said, "Hey man, how you doing?" And I was like, "Hey man, how you doing?" At this point, he was a full-blown heroin addict, and I was too. But we just didn't talk. Well, he was trying to get clean. I was trying to get clean. We meet up instantly, bro. We're like, "You want to get some pills?" And he could always get pills. And he was like, "Yeah, let's get some pills." So hey man, I can't get pills. Want to get fentanyl? Yeah, man, let's just get some fentanyl. Well, I'm already 2 4 Locos deep. Show up to his house. He's like, "Hey man, I got some Xanax. You want to take a Xanax?" Sure, take a Xanax. "Hey man, I got some methadone. You want to take some methadone?" Sure, take some methadone. "Hey man, we're about to go get this fentanyl. You want to go do some fentanyl?" I die. I overdose and I wake up in the police officer's arms. He's asking me what kind of drugs I had taken. They had found a unregistered firearm, a couple grams of fentanyl, some unprescribed methadone and Xanax. So it was a lot of stuff at once, especially, I hadn't taken anything in a little bit. So that was my first overdose. My second overdose was my wife. My buddy dropped some dope off, and I go into the bathroom, snort it. I'm not feeling nothing. I'm like, what the hell? I didn't know dope could be onsetting. I thought if you snort it, you should feel it like that. No, this dope came back up, snuck back up, and I guess it killed me in my sleep. I fell asleep because I just kept snorting. I was like, it's not doing anything, you know what I mean? So I kept snorting it. Wife found me. She's sleeping next to me, woke up, and I was blue. They had a Narcan me. Second time, my mother found me. She had a Narcan me. And then the 4th time was my 5th DUI. So back to that story. I guess so. I get that dope, so I know what an overdose it feels like. You know what I'm saying? I snort that dope, and right away I'm like, I'm gonna overdose. I already know I am. Because when you're doing alcohol and heroin, it's gonna. You're probably.
Thins your blood.
Yeah, it slows your heart down so much, and so it thins your blood too. Is that what it does? Okay.
Alcohol.
Yeah. Okay. Alcohol. Yeah. So obviously I was like right away, and I prayed to God. I wasn't really religious at this time. Actually was an atheist pretty much, but because I knew I was about to die, I was like, God, get me home. And I black out from the bridge to Turfway exit, which is about 10, 15 minutes. I don't remember. I guess I was on the phone with my mom because My wife was tracking me at the time. She had woken up and was tracking me. Yeah, so they were blowing me up. I didn't care, so I just turned off. I turned off my location and told them I was just getting pot. My wife isn't stupid. I'm going through withdrawal. Yeah. I'm in the city when she was asleep. Like, come on. But whatever. I was going to face that when I got home. Didn't make it home. So I get off the highway. Surprisingly, I don't wreck or anything, but apparently I was on the phone with my mom telling her I'm fine. And she's like, Jake, you're slurring your words. You're high. I know you are. Apparently, that's what she said. So I stop at the stoplight, and apparently I overdosed at that stoplight. A guy behind me, couple lights, I guess 2 lights, green lights ran through, and I didn't move. He comes to the front door, and I guess my mom was still on the phone. I guess I was on the phone with my mom, and my phone's in my lap, and I'm just, nodded out. And he's a retired police officer and has Narcan and saves my life.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I never got to say thank you to him. I know he'll never hear this either, probably, but I don't even know his name. But that man saved my life. And
yeah, it's lucky.
Yeah.
Really lucky.
Yeah. I shouldn't be here. I don't know if you've ever overdosed, but yeah. So the imposter feeling that you have, I don't know if you have that, but I have that. So anyway, that happens. The guy that actually pulls me over is a buddy of mine. Or is one of the police officers' arms that I wake up in is a buddy of mine. They ask me where the drugs are. I show them where the drugs are, and they say to me, you want to go to jail or you want to go to the hospital? I'm like, I've already overdosed. I've been Narcan. I mean, what are my options here? If you go to a hospital, you don't go to jail. I'm going to the hospital. So I'll go to the hospital. The guy that takes me to the hospital is actually a buddy of mine that I've partied with. I know his wife. Not saying we're friends by any means.
Right.
And I've been wanting to. I know this guy and I want to reach out to him. Maybe he'll hear this. But he tried to do me a solid. I showed up. We showed up to the hospital and he goes, you know who I am, right? And I'm like, I know who you are. And he goes, I see you're going through some shit. I was like, I am. I'm trying to get clean. Today was a bad day. And he goes, I'm not going to give you a DUI. I started to cry. And I was like, thank you so much. I mean, he's like, you need to get help. You know what I mean? So that was the plan. He steps out. I guess he gets a call from his fucking supervisor because I guess he was putting in his computer that he was only giving me like a warning or a written warning or something. Because the fentanyl crisis is so bad. I think they have that. Excuse me, I'm going to take this out. They have that, like, they can, like, if they try to help people more than punish them with the fentanyl.
Yeah.
With the fentanyl use, you know what I'm saying? So I guess that was what he was trying to do, maybe. But I was surprised, and I was very thankful for that. He tried to do that, and he let me call my wife and call people that I needed to call my job, let them know, hey, I've pissed away so many good careers. I've always done stuff. I'm manual labor. I'm HVAC now, but at the time, I was in my 4th year of my 5th year apprenticeship for sheet metal in the union. I was making great money, going to be set up with full benefits and everything after my 5th year apprenticeship, you know what I'm saying? And I get this DUI and I lose my license for 5 fucking years. So I have to call. I knew what was coming, so he was like, if you need to call somebody, just call him now, because my supervisor said I have to give you a DUI because of my record, which is, I said, you know what, dude, I'm not even mad at you. Thank you for trying. And thank you for letting me use my phone. He goes, yeah, you've been pretty cool. Because I was pretty cool because I knew I had accepted my fate.
Right.
I wasn't trying to act a fool, make it worse, trying to make it aggressive or aggravated or anything.
Yeah.
So I accepted my fate, you know what I'm saying? So he lets me call my work. I have to bail out of the union, unfortunately, lose that opportunity. And call my wife, call my buddy, had a wedding that I was supposed to go to. I was in the wedding. That was out in Arizona. Wasn't going to be able to go to that, so I had to call my buddy. I broke down about that one. That kind of messed me up. The police officer that was that I knew, I was very grateful of him, and I hope that he sees this video. I would like for him to see that I am very thankful for being nice to me. Usually cops aren't like that. Anyway, no. My dad is on the outside of the hospital being completely ballistic because he can't come see me because I'm being arrested and I had just died, you know what I'm saying? And it had been some time since I overdosed, so they wanted to make sure I'm okay and everything. So they're freaking out, and they're not telling them nothing. But anyway, so I was very grateful of him being a cool cop. Anyway, so the punishment for this is probably obviously the most brutal. So it is my 5th DUI, 4th offense.
Yep.
So the real punishment would be a minimum year in jail. Rehab, obviously, classes, 52
minimum of a year.
Minimum of a year in Kentucky, yes. Minimum
So
of a state year.
You did a year?
7 months and 7 months and 21 days. I did 10 months on house arrest. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So and willfully, not they didn't.
Well, I'm sure
they didn't tell me to do it.
Oh
yeah. Because I got to work. I got to work and stay out of jail. I'm not a jail guy. I mean, I'll do my time. I won't sit there and cry. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to be there.
No.
You know what I mean? Shit sucks.
Nobody does.
So I get arrested. I spent 11 days in jail. They give me no bond because I'm a danger to society. The first appearance in front of the judge. And
wow.
I'm like, wow, and real shit's happening now.
Yeah.
Every single person I'm talking to doesn't know what to say to me because they're like, we don't know what's going to happen to you.
Yeah.
Because every single time, if you guys have realized, I've had a safety net, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. My life has been on excuse my language, a pink fucking cloud.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I have my mommy, my daddy still paying my lawyer bills. You know what I'm saying? I've never truly learned my lesson. Now I'm getting a taste of what reality is because they don't know what's going to happen. My lawyer said, I don't know what's...
get you out of this one.
Yeah, that's what my lawyer exactly said to me. Jake, I don't know if I can get you out of this.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. So luckily, I get a bond, $50,000. 10%, $5,000.
$5,000.
Yeah, $5,000. So not terrible. But $5,000 that we don't have.
Really, it's a lot for a DUI.
Yeah. So anyway, my age is 25 at this time. I get all my first DUI is at 17. My number one, and my last is at 25. So I get 5 DUIs in
8 years.
8 years. Yeah. So not very attractive, but anyway,
one every 2 years.
Yeah, pretty much. So I'm always paying something back, like I said. Anyway, I get this DUI, call my lawyer, tells me he doesn't know what's gonna happen, how he's gonna get me out. Well, I add up actually my second visitation to the judge. He gives me a $50,000 bond, and out of nowhere, not Meyer, pack it up. I was like, no, I'm sorry. My dad did tell me, but it was out of a shock. Like he told me straight up in the beginning, Jake, you're staying. We're not gonna come and get you. I'm not addicted to anything at this time. The Kratom Withdrawal, I guess, because I went to jail and I got so scared of what was gonna happen, my mind was racing so much it blocked the withdrawal out. Like I did not feel any withdrawal in jail anymore. It was wild, dude, wild. Because it gets bad. The withdrawal gets way worse after I get out of jail because I go back to it. But that first time going to jail, man, either I overcame the withdrawal, which I highly doubt. I truly think the psychiatric of my brain, I was so scared of what was going to happen to my life that it didn't even care about the withdrawal.
Plus, you can't get it.
Exactly. When you're in jail, I've heard you say it on the show, and I believe it too. You can withdraw super bad. Obviously, you've seen it, but
you still withdraw, but the mental.
It's not the mental. Yes, the mental, because you can't go and get it.
Yeah,
so you just get through it. You know what I'm saying? Get through it. Yada yada yada. But I wasn't throwing up, pissing, shitting. I had to spend 2 days in the holding the drunk tank or whatever in Boone County, just to see if I was going to go through withdrawal because I was a fentanyl case and everything.
Right.
But I told him, hey, listen, this is a relapse on fentanyl. I didn't tell him anything about the kratom. I was like, there's a relapse on fentanyl, so I'm not going to go into a withdrawal or anything. But so they let me out. I spent 11 days in jail. Not the longest, I did 30 days, but the longest time I had spent after getting arrested. So that 30 days came after my case closed, and I had to go serve 30 days.
You were sentenced.
So I have never been arrested and then spent 11 days. So my job doesn't know. I did call my job, but like my tools are still at work because I'm working construction at this time. Tools are still at work. Like everything is still just unplanned. So I'm like, well, fuck. So luckily my parents went and got my tools. Everything got worked out, obviously. Well, luckily my dad finally says, Jake, we are going to bond you out because you have a 1-month-old child at home and you need to be home for this kid, but you're going to rehab right away. I was like, okay, which is a requirement anyway. Right when I walked up, they said, you're being bonded out, but you have to either go to an IOP, which is 3 days a week, 3 to 4 days a week, 3 to 4 hours a class, for 3 to 6 months, however long they deem. So I go to rehab. Transitions is what it's called. It's a joke. That rehab was a joke to me personally.
A lot of them are.
Yeah.
There's so many of them.
They think they mean well. You know what I'm saying? Just the stuff that I see there is very immature. It's just wild. I don't want to think better of myself by any means. I'm no better than any other man. But just the immaturity that I see of grown men. You know what I mean? Let me tell you a small story of this. That's gross, but a dude jerked off inside the stall and left it for the lady janitor to clean up. Like, nice. Dude, come on, man. Yeah. What are we doing here? What are we doing? But anyway.
Checks out.
Yeah. So I'm fighting insurance the whole time I'm there because I'm on private insurance. They love you if you're on Medicare or Medicaid or whatever, if it's, you know what I'm saying, if you're homeless on the streets. But if you have private insurance, your private insurance really doesn't like to pay for it. So they only give me 3 weeks out of a 30-day program. I get out and I'm obviously sober, but I'm telling myself I'm going to get on Suboxone because this is my first time ever getting on Suboxone, or like I've tried Suboxone, but like through a real thing.
Yeah.
So first things first, get a new job because I got a kid and an apartment and a wife. I gotta pay. We got married in November of 2021. I was high off my ass the night that we got married. Sure. Not very happy on cocaine. That was my one time that I went back to cocaine. Not very proud of that one. Ruined her night completely. So if I had money, I'd redo it, but I don't have money like that. So just another thing that I, shit the bed on with her. But anyway, we got married in November 2021. Just a side note. Lost my train there. Sorry. Where am I at in the story? Sorry.
Just got married.
Yeah, no, I kind of went back on that, but
cocaine.
Yeah, the cocaine that night. Sorry, brother. 2021. So, my kid. All right. So, I get done with I go to rehab, do the 3 weeks in rehab. Sorry, guys. Do the 3 weeks in rehab, and I get out, and I want to stay clean. I don't do anything, but I get on Suboxone, and I'm not fully there 100%. I'm like, I'm going to get on Suboxone, but I'm going to abuse it, of course. I already knew that going into it. So I don't want to have to inconvenience anybody, take me to a clinic or anything like that. So I'm going to do it online. Real easy to, manipulate and abuse, So I get on with a company online that sends you your Suboxone. You just send in a piss test with a picture of your face, and they don't watch you or nothing. It's pretty easy to. I wasn't doing that, but I was. What I would do is I would I'd run out of my script in 3 days. It's a 7-day script, which I don't know if you've ever had this, but with Suboxone, you don't even get high after after 2 or 3. You're just taking it. For, You know what I mean? I don't know, with me, my brain chemistry, there's like a top out for Suboxone high. You know what I mean? You don't get higher, but I'm over here just trying, snorting it. Effect, I have the films. I'm liquefying the films down in the water, snorting the water. Drug addict behavior.
Doesn't work.
So anyway, that lasts 6 months, and I'm obviously not using any other drugs, but I'm abusing it, and so I abuse it too much one time, and I run out 4 days before I get script.
Your script.
Yeah, and so what happens is you have to take a piss test the day that you're gonna get your script.
Oh shit.
Because this is wild, but because I work out all the time and I manual labor for work, construction at this time, or actually no, lumber yard. Actually, I went to a lumber yard after losing my job with the union. My buddy got me a job at the lumber yard because it was close to home. My wife could drive me to work because I lost my license for 5 years. So got a job there. So still manual labor. So I'm sweating all the time. Dude, this stuff gets out of my system in 4 days.
Yep.
Wild. So I take this test and I piss dirty for nothing. I was like, this is crazy. Because I wasn't smoking weed, wasn't drinking at the time, because for being out on bond, I had to take piss test, obviously. So I was taking at least 1 or 2, 3 a month. So always calling every morning, random piss test. So I was drinking a little bit here and there because they don't really test for alcohol, but I was taking Suboxone, so alcohol's not really going to do anything. And I wasn't really, opiates were my drug of choice, and Kratom at this time. Alcohol was gone. So anyway, so it was out of my system, so they kicked me off the program. So, like, literally just fucking kicked me off. And I'm like, dude, I'm about to go through withdrawal.
Yep.
I was like, do you guys not care? They're like, if you can get up to a lab, and get that lab sent to us, we'll redo your thing. I was like, oh, okay. I have a piss test for the state tomorrow. They're like, okay, that'll work. It's at a lab. So I go and I piss dirty because it's a lab test. You know what I'm saying? Not an at-home test. So I do still piss dirty. And I was like, sweet. So I send it to them. Guess what they say? It's not good enough. I was like, oh, okay. So what do I do? You have till tonight to go take this test or you're off the program. I was like, okay. Well, I don't have time. So, because I don't drive. And so I have to rely on other people. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I'm like, well, fuck me. I guess I'm going to go through withdrawal. So, obviously, I don't want to go through withdrawal. So, I get back on the Kratom. This whole time, I'm fighting the case. I got my lawyer fighting my case. This is the next year. We finally decide. So he told me willfully to get on house arrest. They didn't tell me to. So I get out of rehab. He says, dude, get on house arrest because they're going to hit you with a year's worth of jail. I was like, what? I was like, I'm not getting on willful house. Like, I'm not going to do house arrest willfully. He goes, do it. And I went up, did it. And the guy was like, you're doing this, like, you don't have an order or anything? I was like, no. And he goes, okay. So I'm paying them $200 a month.
That's a lot.
Yeah, $200 a month to keep this thing on my foot, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not even told to do it. And it's all on a gamble that I may or may not go back to jail, you know what I'm saying? Well, so finally we come to an agreement. Prosecutor just wants to fry me, dude. He just wants to make a example out of me, you know. He does not like me at all. He accepts the house arrest. Actually, no, I'm sorry. The judge accepts the house arrest at the very end. He does. So I don't get the year's worth of jail. He says I have 4 months. So that's what I have to, or no, I'm sorry, 2 months. I was told 2 months. I was told 60 days and I'd be out. I ended up doing 4 months. Typical jail shit. Prosecutor would tell you something, but it's something else, Anyway, so the date that to go into jail is February 29th, the last day of February of 2022. And I am using Kratom powder because of the withdrawal of the Suboxone.
Yep.
So this is now, I get off the Suboxone in December of 2021, get on to Kratom. I'm going to jail in February 2022. So I got 2 months. So heroin withdrawal, gone. Or not heroin, I'm sorry. Suboxone withdrawal, gone. Like it was gone. So when I walked into jail at the end of February, I hadn't been taking Kratom long enough to actually truly feel any, maybe mentally, but physically nothing. So I was good. I was like, wow, okay, I feel okay. So let's just get through these 2 months that I think I have. Show up. I instantly go to work because in Kentucky, if your case is done and it's nonviolent, you have to work. And if you're not going to prison, you have to go to work. Sure. So first week I go to Gen Pop. Actually, I'm sorry. My first couple of days, they still do that COVID shit where you stay up front for 5 days or whatever. So I do that, and then I go back to the back Gen Pop for a week. So it's like a week and a half. So after that, they asked, do you want to go to work? I was like, of course. So I'm pushing brooms in the halls, doing that. And then they say, all right. So I do that for a month. And they say, Nat Meyer, you're going to the work camp. So I go to the work camp. So I did total, all in all, 4 months. I did a month in the main jail, and then 3 months in the work camp, which isn't honestly terrible. Really, it's kind of like summer camp there. To be honest with you, there's no locked doors. Really. Well, the main door's locked, obviously, but there's no cells or anything. It's bunks. It's like a cabin. You know what I mean? Cabin bunks. It's like summer camp. You get rec outside every day after dinner. On the weekends, doors are usually open. You can go outside. You go to work. The craziest thing that happened when I was there. I will say this: my wife and my parents don't know this one, so they'll hear this for the first time. I did use inside of jail methamphetamine and Suboxone. So I go to the work camp, and I'm at the sanitation district, and it's just like a shit house. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the jobs I do, but you just mow grass. So mowing grass. Well, the guy that comes and picks us up is an alcoholic. And he's like probably 25, he's my age, you know what I mean? And so he's just their maintenance dude. He comes and picks us up, us convicts, us felons, you know what I'm saying? And every night he drinks, and come to find out that he's been passing out alcohol to allegedly passing out alcohol to one of the inmates or whatever. So we all start, getting fucked up. You know what I mean? So, but one of the guys had his girlfriend come up to the sanitation district, and the dude let him go off and hang out with her for like an hour or whatever.
Damn.
Comes back with comes back with methamphetamine, and we do some, so I'm wired for a couple of days. Worst place to do methamphetamine. Yeah, I mean it's god awful, dude. I get back to the cell. Yeah, I get back to the house or whatever. I'm just sitting there drawing for hours, and dude comes up to me and goes, "Bro, you're gonna have to go back to your bunk or something because you've been back here for 4 hours, same position, just doing the same thing." And they walk back every 30 minutes and scan the thing, and I'm sitting back by the scanner and just drawing. You know what I'm saying? Obviously something's up. Right. You know what I mean? So, but yeah. But the reason I'm bringing this up is because this dude, because he was allowing us to do all this stuff, the guy that brought on the methamphetamine was like, man, he's letting us have our girls come up here. I'm just going to go back to my house one of these days. So he does. So he's wigged out on methamphetamine, and he finds out his old lady's, I guess, having sex with his brother, whatever. Jesus. So she comes and picks him up, I guess, the next day we go to work. He dips with her. We can't get a hold of him. He's gone the whole day. We thought he dipped. We thought he ran away. So we escape. You know what I'm saying? Escape charge. We're on the way back to the jail because we're going back early. So I guess his thought was, I'll just come back right before they leave.
Right.
He comes back, calls the phone that we had been trying to call him off of. He goes, where you guys at? Dude, we're on the way to jail, bro. You're fucked. You better run. That's what happened. So like that's what the maintenance dude told him. He goes, bro, you're being looked for right now. You better run. So yeah, so he ended up getting caught and getting 5 years. He had 60 days left. 5 years, bro. Wow. 5 years because because he was zooted out of his mind for a couple of days, wigging out, thinking his girl was fucking his brother. Yeah. Dumbass. So yeah. Anyway, so that happens there. So but then the Suboxone, that was basically everywhere. That's in Boone County. Yeah. It's everywhere in Boone County. I don't know about now, but when I was there, it was easy to get. So and obviously if you don't take Suboxone after a while, you get pretty high. Yeah. So those are the two things that I used in jail. Not proud of. My parents and my wife will hear that. So, but anyway, so I get out of jail. I do my 4 months. Get out of jail. And that was the very first time. I'm like a week out of getting out. I look up at the sky. I'm at work. I look up at the sky, and it's the very first time I was like, I feel free of addiction. Like I felt like my brain always thought about drugs and alcohol from the age of 16 to 25 when I got arrested and everything. That week before I got out, I was like, I'm not thinking about I had used methamphetamine and Suboxone, but like I don't need to use anything more. Like I'm not craving anything, and I have not felt this feeling since I was like 15. So I thought I had it under wraps. Right. I was like, I feel free. You know, everything's good. Well, get out, you know, everything's beautiful when you get out. Everything's great when you get out. Get out. Couple of days go by, and I start to notice. I'm like, I'm starting to struggle a little bit. I'm not using anything, so I go up to my wife, and I'm like, hey, listen, I'm not gonna be able to stay 100% sober. It's just not gonna happen. I already gave up. I was like, this is not gonna happen. I'm not going to any meetings. I'm not talking to anybody. I'm not giving it a chance at all. I was like, you're going to have to let me at least use once a month, something. She was like, okay. And I didn't ask to use like that weekend or anything. I said next month, which was like a month and a half away for my birthday. I just asked that you allow me to use. And from there, we'll use once a month, and we'll see how that works. So she allows it. It was for Kratom. I told her it wouldn't be for any hard drugs. I said the hard drugs are gone. Like we won't use those anymore because I'm just tired of overdosing. And I mean nowadays, that's all it is. It's just such strong fentanyl that if you don't have a tolerance, you're gonna die. Yeah. So I'm sorry. I don't know how drugs or how kids experiment anymore. So she says okay. So I start back with the Kratom powder because that's what I knew. But in the time that I was in jail, they had come out with a new product called 7-OH. I don't know if you've ever heard that.
I've heard of it, but I'm not
the same thing as Kratom. So they derived the Kratom powder. They basically did what from heroin to fentanyl, but they did it with Kratom to 7-OH. So Kratom is like the lower natural form. They synthesized it in a lab, made it 10 times stronger, and basically if you put it next to morphine, it's pretty on a level. If you use enough of it, it's fucking right there, man. It is a pain pill that was sold legally, dude. And if you smoke weed on top of that, You're to the moon. I'm not exaggerating. It was one of the stronger, and I mean, I have taken.
This is relatively new, right?
Well, yeah. Now in Kentucky, it's in Ohio legal now. They still, I don't know about Ohio, but in Kentucky they still sell the powder because they know that it is a pain management. It can be used. It's just like any other opiate. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It can be used in the responsible hands, not the 7-OH. 7-OH, I think, is just terrible.
Yeah.
That shit just needs to go away. But like a pain pill, a pain pill does have use. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Kratom could have use. You know what I'm saying? There are pain pills. Like people don't have pain relief from pain pills, but I have heard people get pain relief from Kratom. Those people take it, properly.
Right.
But so it's legal the powder is legal in Kentucky still, but the 7-OH is now illegal. 7-OH is illegal in Ohio. I know that. I don't know about the Kratom powder here. So I started back on the Kratom powder because the Kratom pills, the 7-OH, were so expensive, dude. They were like $20 a pack. And because my tolerance, I always go to the extreme. I need a lot. So like for me to get high, I'd have to spend $60, on Kratom pills like that. Like that's how it was. So anyway, I'll get into that. So I start on the Kratom powder teller once a month. That month turns into 4 years. That once a month turns into 4 straight years. So this isn't okay. Maybe not. Yeah, almost. Yeah, 4 years. 3 or 4. Anyway, this is 2022. 2023. Yeah, my apologies. 2023, so not 4 years. 2023 is when I get out. I'm sorry, let me go back one more time. I go to jail February 2022, get out of July 2022. Yeah, that's what it is. I start back using September. My birthday's in September, so I was sober from July, August, sober 2 months, and then I used sometime in the middle of September and never stopped again until October of 2025. Yeah, it's 2020. Yeah, October of 2025. So however long that is, that's where the 1 month turned into, the once a month turned into. Unknowingly to her, I was doing it every day at the very beginning. She didn't realize it, so I took it. It was the powder at first, but eventually it wasn't enough because I had to drink so much of the powder. I was like, fuck, I'm going to try these pills. I opened a credit card. All in all, I totaled $30,000 in credit card debt on 7-OH. I was upwards towards, at my height, I was spending $700 a week on the pills. That's where I said the financial problems were coming down. Yeah. I started, obviously, I had a tolerance from the powder, so when I jumped into the pills, it was already like I had to spend at least at least 40 to get high, and I needed to get high twice a day. And then you got to add also the marijuana that I had to add on top of it, because if I didn't have marijuana on top of it, it wouldn't get me high enough.
Right.
So I had to have the marijuana on top of it, which isn't super expensive, but I still added on top of it. So for the longest time, that's what happened. That was my rhythm. I just did Kratom and smoked weed. I would go to work high. I would do everything literally high because it checked off every marker. Nobody would be able to tell unless I was sitting down. If I was up moving around, which my job entailed that, it was a lumber yard, it gave me energy. Right. So I was moving around. I'm the greatest employee ever. Everybody loves me because I'm a hardworking, motivated dude. But really, I'm working these 12-hour shifts because I'm using Kratom and I'm getting through it with Kratom. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm doing. Powder becomes not enough, move to the pills, and it goes from $200 a week to $300 a week to $400 a week to the worst is $700 a week for at least a month. But at my height, but the withdrawal on the pills was the exact same withdrawal as the powder, but just times it by 2 or 3. It was way worse, way more debilitating. The Kratom powder, I could go to work and just try to muscle through it, just sucked, you know what I mean? But the Kratom pills, I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't get out of bed. So I could never get over a day. I couldn't get over 12 hours clean for the longest time. Just going back and forth, telling my wife I'm going to stay clean, or I'm going to muscle through it, yada, yada, yada. I'm doing this, and I'm like towards the end. So like I said, I started this and started getting really heavy in October. Yeah, I guess you would call it October, because I tried it towards the end of September 2022. It just kept ramping up like any drug user, but it was so readily available. And people ask, why don't you just go back to the fentanyl? It's so much cheaper. I don't drive. I'm still serving a 5-year license suspension. I sold off my car. I don't have any way to get dope. I don't know people up in the suburbs that sell heroin or fentanyl or pain pills. I do know the local fucking store sells Kratom though. So that's why I stuck with the Kratom, because I don't have my one buddy, that one plug, he died of an overdose. Funny thing, I went to rehab with him. We told each other we were going to get clean, get on Suboxone, and we were going to, start, he wanted to start working out with me, all this yada yada. 2 months or like a month out, he's dead from a fucking overdose. So I didn't have any more plug up here. So I was like, fuck it, I'm going to use the Kratom, you know what I mean? That's what I'll do.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just spend all this money and open up all these credit cards, and that's what I'll do. I checked off every marker. I was able to go to the gym when I wanted to go to the gym. I was able to get high before the gym because, like I said, it gave me energy. It killed my appetite. So if I didn't want to eat, I'd take some Kratom. It hit every marker. I could pass every drug test in the world, other than if you specifically pissed me test for Kratom, which nobody I
does.
talk to half people. I say I was addicted to Kratom. They're like, what? What's that? I'm like, man, you have no idea. I mean, yeah, it's legal and it's not as severe as, you know what I mean, but it is fucking, it's so wide, it takes a hold of you so easily because it's so readily available. It's like alcohol, you know what I mean? It's just like alcohol. Why there's so many alcoholics? I mean, it's so readily available.
Mm-hmm.
That's why alcohol is usually the first thing that kids go to is because it's so readily available and stuff. The Kratom, I mean, they were selling it at every fucking store, so taking it every day. Spending hundreds of dollars a day sometimes, and then hundreds of dollars a week sometimes. It would go up and down when I'd have money. All my money went to this shit. Let me also back up a little bit. My wife gets pregnant 2 or 3 months after me getting out of jail. Show up to the ultrasound. The woman tells me to hold her hand. I think something's wrong. There's 2 heartbeats. I have twins. So I'm spending $700 a week with 3 little kids at home. I have a set of twins that are 2 years old right now, or turning 2 in July, and a 4-year-old. My wife's a school teacher. We don't make shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm a HVAC guy. I don't make shit. You know what I'm saying? And I've always started at the bottom because I've always had to get a new job because I've always pissed away all my jobs because of my drug addiction and everything, So I'm always starting back at the bottom and everything. Well, so this happens in the middle. The start of my sobriety story. Let's go with that. So you already know what I was using and everything. I don't need to go into any more detail. I was using a lot. But had been wishing it was fentanyl the whole time, you know what I'm saying? Because I knew how much money I was spending, and I would much rather, obviously, fentanyl stronger, but I just couldn't get to it, and I wasn't going to dodge my wife and all that, blah, blah, blah. So my sobriety story probably starts really heavy around August, maybe July, probably August of last year. I'm upwards spending $700 a week on the Kratom. And at this point, I'm asking my mom and dad for money, her mom and dad for money. I don't have money, bro, because it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. They've never heard that, and they're going to hear that now, but it's the truth. They had to pay for my groceries. They had to pay for my rent. They had to pay for car insurance because they care about their daughter. You know what I'm saying? They don't care about, it's not for me.
Yeah.
And my parents didn't do it for me. My parents did it for my children.
Right.
I'm over here spending my whole fucking paycheck on drugs while my kids are being supplied with everything they need. They never went without because of their grandparents. If I didn't have them, we'd be homeless right now.
Right.
That's how sick I was. I'm not proud of that. I've never admitted that to them, but they will hear that here if they choose to listen to this. I started reaching out to God. I was an atheist so I grew up a Catholic. I was never into it, you know what I'm saying? My parents forced me and such, but by the age of 15, I didn't care. I loved everything that was sin.
Yeah.
That was my thing.
Yep.
I turned to an atheist probably around the age of 20, 21. When I got into heroin or fentanyl really bad, is when I really turned away from God and everything, because I started getting into like evolution and like this makes more sense than God. You can't see, because I didn't feel nothing, you know what I'm saying? Whenever I prayed to God, nothing ever was answered. So you know what? I was working with at this lumber company. No, let me back up to June. May. Let me back up to May. I'm about to lose my job, and let me get into how I got my new job, which also has helped me stay clean. It's part of my recovery story. So I lose my job at the Carter Lumber place, the job that I got after the union. I lose my job because I'm getting too high at work. I'm wrecking forklifts. I'm fucking up orders. I'm nodding out in front of everybody. You know, I'm slurring my word. I'm just a mess. You know what I'm saying? And I think I'm good. You know, and coincidentally, next door is a gas station that sells my drugs. So I'm just constantly throughout the day just running across the street. They see me on the camera. They're like, dude, we know what you're doing. Like, we're not stupid. Like, I'm like, I'm just going to get dip 4 times a day. Like, dude, come on. Whatever. So, but my manager is a buddy of mine. He's my age, and he's trying to help me through it, but he can only help me so much. He's got to run a place. I could get hurt. You know what I mean? And anything. So I finally get let go. They didn't want to let me go, but they're like, Jake, you need to get clean. So I was like, okay, whatever, fine. I understand. I get it. So my buddy owns an HVAC company. The buddy that I was doing the cocaine with, a lot of the cocaine with, he owns an HVAC company. It's smaller. But he had reached out and asked if I wanted to help on the side or anything like that. So that Friday, I got fired. I texted him, and I said, hey, dude, I just got fired. I didn't tell him why, and I was kind of distant from him. He didn't know how deep my addiction was at this point with Kratom and stuff, so he didn't know he knew I probably used a few things, but no, it wasn't taking control of my life. On the outward, I looked good. On the inward, I was crumbling. So I asked him, hey, man, I just got fired because of some dispute I had with a manager or whatever. He was like, yeah, bro, I'll hire you. So he hired me. That saved me from, because embarrassingly, but you know what? I'm not embarrassed of it, because you know what? People get help all the time. I got fired unexpectedly, tried to apply for food stamps because I got 3 kids, you know what I'm saying? You know, got denied because my wife apparently makes too much. I'm not asking for them to pay for all my food, you know, a couple $100 a month maybe until I find, because I have a felony at this point. My DUI, the last DUI was a felony finally, so now I have a felony, so it's hard to find a job, even with a DUI felony, dude. It really is. People do not call you back.
Doesn't matter, you're a felon.
Yeah,
Doesn't
they
matter what
do
it's
not
for.
care. Yes. So anyway, I'm so thankful for him to. I texted him that Friday, said, hey, bro, I heard you said you needed help. I just got fired. Can I come work with you? He goes, yeah. So I had a job right away.
Yeah.
So but I was still buying $700 worth a week so my whole paycheck I was still supplying my drug habit, really. So I wasn't doing it for my family. I was doing it for myself, but I guess if you looked at it from behind closed doors, you know, peeking in, I was doing it for my family, you know, but I was truly doing it so like I could not be homeless and still use, you know. It wasn't, I'm going to stop using and pay off and be straight. No, it was so I could still use and pay my bills. So that happens. And in the midst of this, I start toying with God. Prayers aren't being answered or anything. So I'm still on the fence. I'm like, is he there? Is he not there? I don't know. Maybe he's not there for me anymore because of how distant I had been. But somewhere along the line, something clicked in my brain. I just kept going to church, and it started working. I started getting deep in religion. I started using less, and then I got on Suboxone. And that, I will say, that right there is what the mixture of those two things, God and Suboxone, I believe are. And this new job, because now my new job, the drug dealer isn't right across the fucking street. You know what I'm saying? Every single day, like, I'm trying to get clean, but here's my drug dealer who's actually just a gas station clerk. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But he's not gonna not sell to me, you know. Nope. So now having this new job and being around people that. So I will admit that I was still using in the beginning of this job. He pointed me out. And the owner, my buddy, he hasn't used in a long time. He went a different path when I got onto heroin and stuff. He cleaned up off of coke and everything. He got better. The funny thing is actually the buddy that is in prison lived with him. So he witnessed him going to prison. Like, he was, I'm not saying they were close at the time. They had distanced each other because of drugs, but they had a connection. So I think maybe that might have steered him away. Sure. You know what I'm saying? He saw a pretty dark side of drugs that maybe he didn't want to see anymore. I don't know. But he did not go the path that I went. Those three things right there are what finally helped me get clean. Like I said, I don't know my exact sobriety date, but I do know it's sometime in October. But I found like I was telling you before, I found your guys' podcast in like August of last year. I'm still getting high. I'm still using a bunch of kratom pills. Like the lengths I would get, like, you know, the lengths, you know, like I would wake up at 3 a.m. to sneak out so I could drive up to the store. And trust you, right? I don't have my driver, like I don't have my driver's license, so I'm doing this illegally. I'm stealing my wife's car without her knowing it, you know, to drive it to the gas station that's 24 hours that sells this shit. You know what I'm saying? I didn't care about anybody. You know what I mean? It was like, I mean, what a full-blown fentanyl addiction would be, you know? I was just lucky enough to have a woman that I cared enough about, that didn't want to lose, and I guess I cared about life enough that I didn't jump over that deep end, the angel and devil were telling me, you know, right. You want to, but you also don't want to because you see what that leads to. Like, I love drugs, but I think I just love life more. You know what I mean? So yeah, I found your guys' show in August of last year, still using, and I eventually probably, I wouldn't say eventually, in that time of me listening to you guys and me getting high, I just felt bad, man. Like, I'm not saying that's the reason I got clean, but like, it made me feel terrible. I have 3 kids at home, you know. I am going so out of my way to spend all of my money on this drug, nothing on my children and my wife, nothing. I'm listening to these people's stories and how they've gotten clean, and I'm inspired by these stories, and I'm still doing these actions. It was so mind-boggling to me. I'm like, this is how crazy this disease is. Like, you want to be done, but you can't. Yeah. You can't. Like, I mean, what I was doing was, textbook insanity. Textbook insanity. If you talk to somebody on the outside, they'd be like, that dude is nuts. But I did it. And I am not proud, but I also am proud of who I am now. Yeah. You know, it molded me. It molded me a lot.
As you should be.
But anyway, found your show. And I finally do get on Suboxone, and I believe it was October of some time, and I finally get clean. I'm not a sober Nazi. I will admit that. I'm not. I'm really into the church, so I'm a big believer in. I know that has nothing to do with what I'm about to say, but that's what has helped me a lot is church. Mm-hmm. I would say if it's not impeding your life, that is good. But for me, I know I have a disease, so I have to stay away from certain substances, which I am now old and mature enough to understand. I'll be honest, I take my Suboxone. I started at 2 6 months ago. I'm down to 1.5 now. That is recent, my own validity. I wanted to do that. We had talked earlier. If I wanted to be on this the rest of my life, they would love that because it's just another, paycheck, Right. But I'm not that guy anymore, and I don't want to be. We had talked about the chains that I'm on. Yep. I'm very aware of the chains that I'm on. I do not, in 10 years, if I'm going on vacation with my children, I do not want to be like, oh, if I need my medication. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? No. I want to be carefree. Let's go. Go anytime we want to go. Right. You know what I mean? I don't want those barriers. But because I'm 6 months clean, I've noticed in the times that I've tried to get clean before, I try to jump from using to sober like that. And it's never held. It's nothing had ever held. So, baby steps. My wife at first was monitoring the medication. Now there's some trust built. Doesn't anymore. Yeah. So now, and I don't abuse it. I take it as prescribed. I noticed when I started getting high on the 2 pills, because we had talked. That is strong, man. Yeah. If you're away from opiates, or like for me, my receptors were. I wasn't into opiates because of the kratom, but they were affecting my opiate receptors. So I'm still gonna have the effects of withdrawal and stuff like that. So I guess the tolerance was high. So when I started taking 2, I didn't feel nothing. I was like, wow, I'm shocked. Right. Because remember that first time I said I was on Suboxone, that first time I took it, I was zooted, and I was so happy because I was like, now legal
Sweet.
drugs. Yeah. But this time, good. Thankfully, I don't know how I felt at that time. Did I want to, you know what I'm saying? I think some of me was hoping that I'd get high, but I didn't. And I think some of me was upset. I think I was, but you know what? I'm good now. So, I noticed I started getting high, and I was like, you know what? I'm nodding out in the car. This is not what I want. So I, on my own validity, am now on down to 1.5. I do smoke marijuana. My goal is by January. So I have a timeline per se. My goal by the January 1st is to be off the Suboxone. January 1st of 2027, be off the Suboxone. And I don't have an issue with marijuana, but I would like to control when I smoke it. I would like to be able to have full control of when I smoke it. I would say I have semi-control right now. I don't go to work high. Or I would say, like, I don't bring my stuff to work. I wake up super early, so I may hit it before work. I start work 4 hours after I wake up, so it's not like I'm high anymore, but I don't get high at work. And I will smoke it after I get home from work, like at night if I'm winding down. But it's not like I'm sitting there all day thinking about it. You know,
Right.
I can go hours without thinking. I've gone 24 hours without smoking, and I was like, oh, shit, okay. But I still do have bad days. And I still have a little bit of a crutch, which I'm not proud of, but I'm aware. I'm aware of it. So I have a 2-year plan. The second year would be by at least 2028. I would like to be able to control when I, like, you know, maybe go a week or two without pot and there'd be no issue, you know, just use it when, like, so maybe socially or occasionally, something like that. But for right now, my family trusts me. I trust some of my decisions now, which is a lot to say.
Yeah.
Comparatively. So everything is going solid. I'm doing a lot better at work now. So, like, one thing I noticed now that I'm sober, I've always had good opportunities, and I've always had good work ethic. I've always a hard worker because, I mean, nobody's going to pay for my drugs, so I got to work hard to, you know, be able to have a job. That's also my ADHD, like, you know, my OCD.
Sure.
So I lost my train of thought there. So sorry, Lou.
No, you're good.
The good work ethic. I don't know. Scratch that, I guess. But I have always had a good work ethic. Because the drug use, nobody was ever going to pay for my drugs and the ADHD. So I've always had a job. Man, I don't know where I lost my. Anyway, sobriety story. So
what advice would you give to someone that's still stuck out there?
Stuck out there,
going through what you went through.
Yeah. I would say, dude, reach out to somebody. Because I never did. I always thought that I could do it on my own, my way. And my way never worked. You know what I'm saying? And I guess that was the ego. That was the ego in me and everything. So I just would say reach out to somebody, and maybe somebody else might have a point of view that might affect you one day. You know what I'm saying? Don't stay silent about it. Talk, because nowadays people don't judge you like people used to. You know what I'm saying? It's more out in the open. It's more, you know, accepted and such. It's just reach out to somebody. Don't be quiet about it, because it is soul crushing. And I shouldn't be here talking to you, but I am, and I thank God for that every single day that I got a second chance. And I didn't follow my own advice, but now that I am clean, I talk to everybody about it. I reach out to everybody about it now.
Yeah.
You know, it's all people that relate to me, obviously. People, you know, it may not be like my wife or my mom or anything. And I'm not in AA right now. I have a pretty busy life with the 3 kids and not being able to drive and working full time. Yeah. I umpire on the side for baseball, so I don't have a lot. I don't have a lot of extra times. But in the future, I would like to get into maybe a church group and some type of sobriety group, something to where I can connect to somebody else. That, because my wife and my mom don't feel what I feel.
Right.
So I would just say reach out and give somebody else a chance, or give somebody else's thought process a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it.
So, all good, Lou.
Thank you, dude. Appreciate you taking the time to come up today and share your story, man. It was a good one.
Yeah, thank you, Lou. I was told something. The last thing I will say, I was told something today, and the man that told me this, I went to the gym this morning to clear my head because I've been thinking over this for the past 2 weeks. I've been nervous, man. So I even wrote something down and everything. I was practicing and it all, but I talked to. He was a previous addict. He works out at the gym. He was a previous fentanyl and pain pill user. I brought it up to him. Hey, man, I'm going to go do this podcast because he knew I wanted to do it. And I told him how nervous I was. And he said to me, dude, you're going to do a lead. Mm-hmm. He's like, nobody is affected by it, or if nobody is inspired by it, at least you stay sober today.
Yep.
So, you know what? I stayed sober today, so that's what matters.
Right on.
Yeah.
It's the best way to look at it.
Yeah.
It's the only way
I want
to
to care about other people, but at the end of the day, that's all. I got to be sober first. I got to be sober first, for sure.
Thank you, dude.
Thank you, Lou.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, absolutely, brother.
All right.